Welcome to the Brian Craig Show. My name is Brian, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome, one and all. You know, Pam Bondi, she made us proud yesterday. She did a really good job in this insane hearing with these out-of-control, unglued, unplugged, hysterical lunatics that are the Democrats in the House of Representatives. And I'm going to go through quite a bit of that from yesterday and Pam Bondi on today's program, because it really shows you what our greatest and favorite president is going through, and that's Donald Trump. And I've got a lot of things I want to cover from the Pam Bondi hearings, but Massie, what he said at the in the middle of the day yesterday about all of this, this is a special kind of sickness. And let me just play Massie, and then I'll get into everything.
The recourse, and I keep reminding the folks at DOJ this, is that the next attorney general can bring charges against them for breaking the law. Oh. I think that's what's compelled them to produce 3 million documents. And now they're claiming that it's incompetence. Like, their defense today is incompetence for why they haven't given us all the documents they should, why they have over-redacted in the case of co-conspirators, and why they failed to redact the names of the victims.
Okay, now there's a couple things to cover here with Massie. One, I would consider this to be a threat not just against the Attorney General of the United States, Florida's own Pam Bondi, but this is also a threat for anyone that works for Trump. Now this, for the Democrats and the Never Trumpers, the name Epstein, and you put that together with files, and to them that's the gift that keeps on giving, you know. So the President Trump, signed into law, and now we're seeing it happen. It is now federal law, passed by the Republican House, the Republican Senate, and signed into law by our great MAGA President Donald Trump to release the Epstein files. So there's been over 3 million documents that have been released. Over 3 million. Do you know how many documents were released by Obama? Do you know how many documents were released by Biden? Take a guess. Now, President Trump has released over 3 million. And by the way, that'll still continue. President Trump's released over 3 million. How many of these documents were released by, I'll make it easier for you. How about combined? Combine all of the Epstein documents released by Obama and Biden. Think about it. 3 million released by Trump alone, and really a short time. How many released combined by Obama and Biden? And the answer is zero. Zero, not a one. So to sit around and accuse President Trump and those in his administration of not doing this or obstructing justice or this or that, it's absurd on the face of it. But see, Democrats don't care about the truth. Democrats don't care about reality. And what they, Pam Bondi stood up and told these people off in a committee like I've never seen a cabinet member do before. I've always had problems with these hearings because they never let the person talk who's from the administration, and the Democrats just bark at them, yell at them, and ask questions that they don't want the answer to, that they won't let them answer. And Pam Bondi said none of that was going to be acceptable to her yesterday, and I think she handled herself like a pro. And, Pam Bondi, think about this. Under President Trump's administration, with the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, as the top law enforcement officer of the United States, this country's crime rate is at a 125-year low, according to the latest statistics from the FBI, a 125-year low. The lowest crime rate, obviously the numbers are only available up through the end of 2025 because we're only in the beginning of 26. So think about this in a couple of different ways. One, the lowest crime rate since 1900. Think about that. It's the lowest crime rate since crime rate statistics have been kept by the federal government. And that it's the lowest crime rate, and that's half of the history of the United States since this is our 250th anniversary year. how you can look at Attorney General Pam Bondi and try to present yourself as a credible person and accuse her of, one, not complying with the law signed by the president, President Trump, to release the Epstein documents when we've released over 3 million and Obama and Biden released 0, okay? And we have a crime rate, the lowest in 125 years since 1900. It's just absurd on the face of it. And I'm so glad this happened yesterday. This is what I'm going to cover today, and I do want to take your calls on this. The radio show will be starting shortly. So if you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It is a toll-free call no matter where you are watching. Those of you that are new, my name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I host a live morning radio show. I live stream on YouTube while I'm on the radio. And this is the pre-show. The radio show will start in a few minutes, about 5, 6, 7 minutes. But this is the pre-show. What Pam Bondi and Kash Patel have done with the leadership of President Trump is nothing short of fantastical. You know, if you look, this, and by the way, the lowest crime rate in 125 years, that also includes the lowest murder rate in 125 years. In the history of the statistics, the lowest murder rate. Think about that. You know, it's amazing. So you look at what is the only thing in the last year that has changed that's resulted in the lowest crime rate and lowest murder rate in half of America's history, 125 years. What is the one thing that's changed? There's only been one thing, and it's a little more specific than Trump's president. Think about it. What is the one thing that has changed in the last year that would explain the 125-year low crime rate, the 125-year low murder rate? And it's simple. It's the deportations that are going on. And President Trump said a week or two ago, I can't remember the exact percentage, but it's a very small single-digit percentage of the people that are doing the crime, right? And the deportations have done a couple of things. One, a lot of these violent criminals that are illegals have been rounded up and are in jail. Many of them are in foreign jails in their nation of origin. They may be in that great prison down in El Salvador. So that's part of it. And a lot of the illegals are afraid to come out because they're afraid they'll get picked up by ICE, Border Patrol, and deported, so they're not out doing their crime. Regardless of the reason, the operation is continuing, and the only major change in this country over the last year is the deportation roundups. And this has the Democrats in a panic, right? You know, the Democrats are already losing everything because so many, oh, that beep, that's Mike, the board up at the radio station telling me the exact time we come on the radio is dependent on, what commercials are running at the top of the hour, how long the commercials are. That's why it varies a little bit every morning. So I'll just text him back and he, okay, so I just texted him back, okay. So, I'm at my home studio. Next week, a day or two, I'll be up at the radio station, but I'm at my studio here at home today, so we communicate through text. So that's the only change that has happened, but the Democrats are in a panic because so many people have been red-pilled, and on top of so many people being red-pilled, right, the SAVE Act for voter ID is about to come in. And we're going to talk about this also a little bit on the program today. The only places, when you look at the map, I'm going to show a map on the later on the stream. The only places that don't require ID to vote are places where Democrats win. In the Republican states where Republicans win, voter ID is a requirement. So what does that tell you? Exactly. I have to show voter ID when I vote. No problem. I just take it out. I show it. They check it. Sometimes I'll even check the signature. What's wrong with that? You need ID to do everything in this country. Try to fly somewhere. You have freedom of travel. Try to get on a plane without ID. Everyone has government-issued photo ID. So between the deportations and between the SAVE Act requiring voter ID, the Democrats are seeing their world collapse. And that's why there was so much panic with Pam Bondi yesterday. These people are in a panic. And in particular, you got to understand, in the House of Representatives, the entire House of Representatives is up for re-election every 2 years. So each and every one of them is up for re-election. And with all of these incredible changes that are coming into effect because of President Trump, they're like, well, what are we going to do? Right? They're deporting our precious illegals. Voter ID is going to be required in these federal elections. The illegals are going to, they're going to have ICE around voting locations. So the Democrats, they see a big change coming. And the big change that's coming is honesty. Right? Exactly. Honesty and fraud is being wiped away. And what President Trump is doing with the SAVE Act and voter ID is something that should have been done a long time ago, but nobody else could get it through. And that's what makes Trump so unique and so brilliant. Okay, let me check the time here. We have less than a minute until the radio show starts. So I'll open up, we'll talk a little bit, and then I will take your calls. The number is pinned in the live chat if you would like to call in. Yeah, Massie's currently he's the biggest scum bucket in the House, isn't he? I mean, there's a lot of scummy people in the House, and the House of Representatives has always had low-life pond scum in it, but he's like the worst, isn't he? Right now, currently, if you had to pick one right now that was like the worst, who could be worse than Massie? All right, here we go. Stand by. 10 seconds. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. It is Thursday already. Can you believe it? Holy smokes. I want to talk about Pam Bondi and this incredible hearing. I'm going to play quite a few sound bites from Pam Bondi's congressional hearing yesterday. She was on fire, and I'm sure she made the president proud. So we'll definitely be covering that in detail here in the beginning. I must say, I'm in shock that there has been no action in over 24 hours in the Guthrie kidnapping case. And the attention span of the American people is about to fade away from that case. I can't believe with these videos that are out, it's a no-brainer. There are a lot of people out there who know who that person is in the doorway, but still no arrest. So we'll talk about a lot of things today. There is a lot to cover, but first I want to talk about Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is, and I know some of you that are even my MAGA brothers and sisters out there, you may disagree with this, but Pam Bondi will go down in history as one of the greatest and best attorney generals this country has ever had. And I'll explain what I mean by that. And look at what we have. A week or two ago, we got the latest crime statistics, right, for last year, 2025. And what we found is that the United States has the lowest crime rate that we have had in 125 years. 125 years. That's since 1900. That's half of the age of the country. The lowest crime rate in 125 years. And that also includes the lowest murder rate in 125 years. How many attorney generals have there been in your lifetime? Oh, man, I couldn't even remember because presidents have multiple attorney generals oftentimes. President Trump, he's on his third, right? So if you count the two from the first term. So it's even hard to put a number on that on the top of your head without going online and doing research. But there's been a lot. What other attorney general has accomplished that? Think about it. That's an amazing thing. It is an amazing thing. And I know there's frustration. I've had it too over the last year. I thought by now we would either have in prison or we'd be on jury watch with Comey and Brennan and Clapper. And yeah, those guys not only should be in prison, we expected them to be in prison. And that hasn't happened for whatever reason, but there's still time. But it hasn't happened. And believe me, you've heard me be very vocal about that over the last year on this program. And there's no one that was expecting that more than me, and I know you guys were too. But that aside, how can you say that having the lowest crime rate, which includes the lowest murder rate since 1900 in 125 years, is not a spectacular accomplishment that should put Pam Bondi in the history books as the greatest Attorney General of the United States? Because no other Attorney General has been responsible for that. That is an amazing thing. Now, of course, that's under the great leadership of President Trump and its work with the entire cabinet. But the one thing that's resulted in that, and we all know this, it's the elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about. The reason that we have the lowest murder rate in 125 years, and the reason we have the lowest crime rate in 125 years is because, think about that, that's before the Titanic sunk, 1900. It's crazy, isn't it? It sure is. 2 years after the Spanish-American War. Oh my goodness. So, no other Attorney General could have accomplished that. Now, the one thing that's changed in the last year, because you got to look, cause and effect. Why is the murder rate the lowest in 125 years? Why is the crime rate? And by the way, we're talking about violent crime, not white-collar crime. Why is violent crime, including murder, at its lowest rate since statistics have been kept by the federal government in 1900? And that, of course, is because of the mass deportations that the president has administrated here, right, as the chief executive of the country. The deportations and the prosecutions of the most violent of the violent in our society. Many of these violent criminals, including the murderers, are illegals. President Trump said 2 weeks ago that, it's like 2 to 5% are the only ones doing this violent crime. Right? So the only major thing that has changed are the deportations. Even murders in Chicago are down 30% by the admission of that lunatic liberal leftist mayor says murders are down 30% in the city of Chicago. And that was without President Trump doing a full-on push in Chicago because there was so much resistance from that overweight tubbo governor they got there. President Trump's deportation policy is the only major change in 2025 that would result in us having the lowest violent crime and lowest murder rate since 1900, half of our nation's history. These people are either in prison in the United States, in prison in their country of origin, or in those awesome prisons in El Salvador, and a lot of them are afraid to come out and do crime because they don't want to get deported. And Pam Bondi, with others like Kristi Noem and Tom Homan, are responsible for this. But as the Attorney General, she oversees the legal end of all of this. So regardless of our frustrations about the Obama coup conspirators of Comey, Brennan, Clapper, and Strzok, and Lisa Page, and others, how many people are alive today that would not be alive because of Attorney General Pam Bondi at the Justice Department giving us the lowest violent crime rate in 125 years? Think about that. That is an amazing thing. No one thought anything like that was even possible. Murder's down 30% in Chicago. Who would have thought any of this was possible? So this frustration you saw, which was, I have watched so many congressional hearings with different Democrats in my lifetime. I've never seen the Democrats in a House hearing questioning a Democrat cabinet member lose their you-know-what more than they lost yesterday. And the reason that these Democrats in the House were in such a panic over Pam Bondi is because their party is fading away into non-existence because of the great work that she's doing. On top of the fact that the SAVE Act requiring government-issue photo ID in order to vote will pass into law. You put all these things together, and the Democrats are like, we're done. And what these Democrats were doing yesterday in that hearing, barking at Attorney General Pam Bondi, they were going postal on her because they were in a panic. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. I am going to go through quite a few of the exchanges yesterday because I think they're important, and Pam Bondi deserves praise on this today. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are. Hey, guys, the mega sale continues with free shipping on every order at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. My wife and I, yesterday, we made up our guest room bed with our MyPillow sheets and MyPillow pillowcases. It's already got the MyPillow mattress topper and all that on it, but we got these new sheets and everything, and pillowcases just came in free shipping. You know how great all these MyPillow products are. I don't have to tell you. But this free shipping offer with our promo code Kane is a once-in-a-year event. So this is the time to really load up and do your shopping for every holiday. Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays, even Christmas. Because the free shipping offer is a huge offer, and it will end without notice. So make sure it's free shipping on all orders, no matter how large or no matter how small. It's free shipping on every order during the mega sale with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane at MyPillow.com. You can also order by phone toll-free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, Kane. We'll be right back. All right, we're clear. We're in radio station break now. So let me ask you guys. Let me ask you. And by the way, the number to call in, if you're on hold, stand by. The number to call in is pinned in the live chat. It's toll-free, no matter where you're watching. When you look at these, the crime rates, how can you not give Pam Bondi credit for doing an incredible job? You look at all the past attorney generals. What have they done? What have they done that comes anywhere close to what Pam Bondi has done with the crime rate? Am I forgetting about something? Does anyone have an example of something that other attorneys, and by the way, it can be Republican or Democrat, and let's take it no further back than, say, President Nixon, okay? Can you name anything that attorney generals have done in the last 50 to 60 years that comes even close to what Pam Bondi has done with the 125-year low crime rate, the 125-year low murder rate, the 125-year low violent crime rate? And I was thinking about this today. I can't recall anything that any of these attorney generals have done, tell you the truth. It seems like most of the attorney generals sit around and try to figure out ways for presidents to break the law, right? That seems to be what most of them do. Or in the first attorney general of President Trump's first term, he was trying to get President Trump removed from office when he put that Mueller investigation in place, right? It's amazing. If you're new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe. And if you guys could please like the video right now. Liking the video helps get the video recommended to people that have not yet found my channel. So liking the video is very, very important. So please, right now, if you don't mind, like the video. And we'll be back in about, we're still in radio station break. We'll be back in less than 2 minutes from the radio station break. And if you're on hold, I'll start taking the calls in the next segment. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a darn thing any attorney general has done that has helped the American people. Can you? In my lifetime. Now, Nixon was president when I was born. That's why I took it back. I was a baby, so I don't remember it. But so I took it back to my lifetime. I can't think of one thing that any attorney general has done in my lifetime that has helped regular, everyday American citizens. Can you? Like Pam Bondi has done with this crime rate? Now, they've done things to help the deep state and the government do things, right? Like Janet Reno was the attorney general for President Clinton. She helped him legitimize sending Elian Gonzalez back to Cuba at gunpoint. She got gave Clinton an excuse not to take out bin Laden, which of course led to 9/11, right? So basically, attorney generals, the only examples I can think of are attorney generals being used to help presidents do creepy things, or the deep state, permanent Washington class do creepy things like the lawfare against President Trump. Biden's attorney general, look what he did. He had federal agents in school board parking lots taking down the license plates of parents so that they, like in Russia during the 1950s, and harass parents because they went to a school board meeting. I can't think of anything an attorney general has done to help the American people. All right, we got 20 seconds and we'll be back. I mean, I'm racking my brain. I didn't do any Googling. It's just off the top of my head. And I think you in this audience, the biggest Trump haters out there, wouldn't be able to do it. Stand by. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. I want to ask you guys this question, and the phone lines are open on this at 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. When you look at what Pam Bondi has done with the crime rate and the murder rates and violent crime in this country that I talked about in the first segment, I want you to think about during your lifetime, however old or young you are, okay? In your lifetime, think of all the all the presidents we've had and everything else. Can you name me one thing another attorney general of the United States has done that has given a direct benefit to everyday American people like Pam Bondi has done? With the crime rate, what has Pam Bondi done that helps everyday people like you and me? Well, a lot of us are alive today because we haven't been murdered by these criminals that she's been rounding up. There are women and children that have not been sexually assaulted, raped. There are people that are alive because of it, or just haven't been beaten up in some violent crime. I mean, that's it. I mean, that's a direct benefit to Americans. And I cannot think in my lifetime, in fact, even before, in my whole memory of this country, I cannot think of another thing that an attorney general of the United States for either party, for any president, has done that's given a direct benefit to the American people. When I think of attorney generals in the past that have done things, all they've done is help the permanent Washington class or presidents do creepy and illegal things. As an example, Merrick Garland, the attorney general for the auto-pen administration of Joe Biden. Remember during the school board meetings in Northern Virginia, Merrick Garland had federal agents in the parking lots taking down license plates like at the wedding in The Godfather so that they could harass and do God knows what to parents that were showing up to their kids' school board meetings. Trump's first attorney general in his first term tried to get the president removed from office by starting the Mueller investigation. When Bill Clinton was president, we had multiple attacks by al-Qaeda, ordered and directed and financed and planned by bin Laden, the USS Cole, the embassies towers in Africa, and the American people wanted bin Laden dead. The attorney general of Bill Clinton's, Janet Reno, gave Bill Clinton there was an opportunity, there were two opportunities for the United States when Bill Clinton was president to take out bin Laden. Bill Clinton didn't want to do it. Everybody wanted him to do it. It was the right thing to do because we had been attacked. Oh, and by the way, I left out the attack during Bush 1 by bin Laden, the first World Trade Center attack. Janet Reno said you can't assassinate foreign leaders, gave Bill Clinton the out that he wanted, so we didn't take out bin Laden. And then what happened? 9/11 happened. And not just the 3,000 that day. Over the course of the war on terror, how many people died because Janet Reno was attorney general for Bill Clinton, gave him some legalese out involving bin Laden. So, no, I cannot think of a single thing that any attorney general of the United States has done other than Pam Bondi, Florida's own, we're proud of her in Florida, Florida's own Pam Bondi has done that has helped regular, everyday American people like those of you listening to my voice right now. But maybe I've forgotten something or missed something. I'll open up the phones. I do want to keep this just back to Nixon I mean, I don't want to hear something about the Attorney General for Millard Fillmore or something that nobody knows. We need to know that we need to have things that people in this audience were alive during, although there were people alive before the Nixon administration. But let's just keep it. I'll consider that kind of the modern era. The number's toll free, 888-465-2631. It's a toll free call no matter where you're listening, 888-465-2631. And here's the question, just to be clear. I've explained to you what Pam Bondi has done that has made your life better and mine. Name something another Attorney General has done that is equal, even close to equal to what Pam Bondi has done, that is a direct benefit to everyday average American people, like she's done. All right, that's the question. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Doc from Texas.
Oh, hey, Doc. What's up?
Hey, man. How are you this morning?
I'm always well.
Well, I am too, brother. That's good. I like people say that. I like to hear people say that. Okay. The reason I'm calling, I know we're not going to agree on this, but it is what it is. Yesterday, Pam Bondi, I'm sure Pam Bondi is a good attorney. She made herself look like a clown yesterday, Brian.
She made she made the Democrats look like clowns. I agree.
No, Brian. She made herself look like a clown.
Oh, I missed that. Explain. I watched those hearings yesterday. Explain to me the part I must have missed it. Maybe I was in the bathroom then, right? When she made her, excuse me, walk me through the part where Pam Bondi made herself look like a clown, because I missed that.
There's so much, Brian. There's so much.
Well, pick just one. There's so much. Just pick one or two.
When she sit up there, when I can't think of the lady's name, when lady was talking to her about something, and she said something about anti-Semitism, that's how you call it. Mm. And the lady went off on us like, really? And she's like, it's just like...
You don't even know what you're talking about. I'm going to play that clip later. She was, what that exchange was, the woman that she talked about the anti-Semitism with, right, who says, my grandfather died in the Holocaust or whatever. That particular congresswoman... she called what Israel was doing in Gaza genocide.
Okay. Well, she shouldn't have. Why would you even bring that up about that, Brian?
No, the congresswoman said that the Israelis were committing genocide. Yeah, but you can't give me an example when she made herself look like a clown.
Brian, I get so much, Brian.
Well, then pick one. We're not going to agree. There's so much. All right, get off the phone. There's so much you can't think of any, which means she didn't. All right, let's go. Oh, my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Scott. I'm calling from Kansas City.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. First, I'll talk about... in this case, it was a former attorney general. She fell out of the race. That was Janet Reno, who fell out of the race for governor of Florida, and that's cruel. But
she lost. In fact, Janet Reno lost the Democratic primary to run for governor in Florida. She didn't just lose.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she lost the Democrat primary to a guy that nobody ever heard of in Florida.
All right. Now, another thing I want some clarity on, something I heard you say, Janet Reno blocked the Clintons, and it was the Clintons, from doing any kind of an attack on the haven for Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan. Did I hear you right?
That's correct. There was two instances. One, I only remember, it's been a long time since Bill Clinton was president, but I remember one very clearly. Bin Laden was in a convoy of cars traveling from point A to point B. The Joint Chiefs came to him, and remember, Al-Qaeda attacked the World Trade Center. They attacked the USS Cole and the two embassy towers in Africa. The Joint Chiefs
said, and it was believed that they had something to do with Black Hawk Down.
Yeah, and so the Joint Chiefs came to President Clinton and said, we got him. We can take him out right now with just a rocket. Bill Clinton, for whatever reason, didn't want to do it. So we went to Janet Reno. Give me an excuse. Get me out of this. No. When I cannot name.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he said, she told him it's against the law to take out foreign leaders. Well, yeah, where it is against the law to assassinate foreign leaders, but Bin Laden is not a foreign head of state, right?
No.
Al-Qaeda is not a nation. They're outlaws. It's different.
Now, after the attacks on the embassy...
So 9/11 would not have happened if Bill Clinton and Janet Reno would have done the right thing on that day. You understand what I'm saying? That's the reason.
They had a couple of chances. They attacked on the embassies of Dar es Salaam and Nairobi.
Well, I just want to stay focused. So what I'm telling I'm talking about Bondi. Can you think of anything that any attorney general has done that has been positive in helping regular, everyday Americans like you and me?
Not that I can think of.
Because that's right.
I was going along with what you asked, and no.
That's correct. That's right.
Maybe somebody could dig up something, but
no.
I'm not the one.
No, in fact, the only example what you and I were just talking about is an attorney general is responsible for 9/11, right? Janet Reno.
Now, a lot of people were going down on Pam Bondi for the subjects you don't like talking about, the Epstein stuff.
She's done a great job with the Epstein stuff. Okay, it is now law, right, that the documents have to be released. Under Pam Bondi's supervision, over 3 million Epstein documents have been released. Over 3 million, and they're still releasing, right? How many documents, so over 3 million. How many documents did Biden and Obama release?
Oh, gosh, forget that. But
No, don't forget that. This is very important. Over 3 million documents have been released by President Trump and Pam Bondi of Epstein files. Over 3 million documents. Take a guess. How many documents do you think Biden and Obama, that's 12 years of presidencies, how many documents combined do you think they released? Just take a guess.
Oh, probably enough to fill a comic book.
Zero.
Oh.
Biden and Obama released 0 Epstein file documents. Under Pam Bondi's supervision, over 3 million have been released, and more are coming all the time. So she's done her duty.
She was grilled for all the files and stuff by the
usual crowd. They're lying. They're lying. Nadler fell asleep when he wasn't talking. They're lying. She's released over 3 million documents, and Obama and Biden released 0.
Yeah, they're trying to pin
Good luck. Listen, I got to run for a break. I'm up against the break, so I got to run. But I appreciate the call. So no, that's not something to forget. That's something to remember. All right, callers on hold. Stand by. It's Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian. Back after this. All right, if you'd like to call in, the number's toll free. It's pinned in the live chat, guys.
This Valentine's Day, why not treat your special someone to something fun? At Skincare World, we've got surprises that are as sweet as your love. Use promo code ROMANCE10 to get a special bonus, valid until February 14th. Head to skincareworld.shop. That's SKINCAREWORLD.shop and find the perfect Valentine's gift to make their eyes sparkle. Skincare World, care that comes from the heart. This Valentine's Day, express your love in the most heartfelt way at Alleganto. Every gift is a whisper of affection, wrapped in care. Whether you're surprising them with something special or sharing a quiet moment together, make it a memory that lasts forever. Use promo code Valentine10 for a discount on your purchase, valid through February 14th. Visit Alleganto.com, ALLIGANTO.com to find the perfect way to say, I love you. Alleganto, where every moment is a gentle embrace. This Valentine's Day, treat your love to something extraordinary. At Azarel, discover gifts that are as refined and luxurious as your affection. Don't forget to use our promo code Tenderness10 to enjoy a special discount, valid until February 14th. Browse Azarel.com, that's AZURILLE.com, and celebrate love in the most elevated way. Azarel, where
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, and we're still in radio break for about 2 minutes. But I think, so, these people saying she's not doing her job with the Epstein files. And by the way, that goes for trolls in this audience. She's released over 3 million documents. Biden and Obama released 0. all these things. And you gotta look at these stories in a little bit of a different way. If you're on hold, when we get back from the radio break, I will take the calls. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. The number's pinned in the live chat, and it is a toll-free call no matter where you are tuned in from. Yeah, I mean, this idiot Massie, listen to this. Is this a threat?
The recourse, and I keep reminding the folks at DOJ this, is that the next Attorney General can bring charges against them for breaking the law. I think that's what's compelled them to produce 3 million documents. And now they're claiming that it's incompetence. Like, their defense today is incompetence for why they haven't given us all of the documents they should, why they have over-redacted in the case of co-conspirators, and why they failed to redact the names of the victims. The recourse, and I keep reminding the folks at DOJ this, is that the next Attorney General can bring charges against them for breaking the law.
Wow, does that sound like a threat to you? Rhino is too kind, Republican in name only. One of our longtime listeners and callers, Ray from Sunrise, he came up with a perfect name a few years ago. Instead of rhinos, rats. Republicans against Trump. So this is a threat. Like, if you work for Trump, you're gonna get prosecuted. You're gonna go to jail. All right, we've got less than a minute, about 45 seconds. We'll be back, and I'm gonna go right to the phone. So if you're on hold, stand by. And by the way, guys, please like the video. Liking the video. Welcome to the new subscribers. And please subscribe if you're new. Liking the video helps get this video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. So please, if you've not already done so, like the video right now. We have less than 30 seconds, and we'll be back. Stand by. All right, we're back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Oh, hang in there, Mike. My phones are exploding. All right, Michael, go ahead. What's on your mind?
Until Trump says anything bad about Pam Bondi and turns on her, I say let her do what she's doing. I mean, look, I've had my problems with Pam Bondi, but until Trump says anything bad about her, she's doing great work,
That's right.
And that's the thing. And, this Massie character, we know what he is. He's a never-Trumper. That's what he is.
Yeah, he's a monster. He's a monster.
He is a monster. And look, the last character that did anything, that tried to do anything about crime, anything significant about crime, was Bobby Kennedy, and we know what happened with him.
That's true.
By
the way, what's the story with? Does anyone know the backstory of Massie? His first wife passed away, but there's some controversy with his second wife. Does anyone remember the scumminess of that? There's something about that. It just popped in my mind. If anybody can remember the details, I just for my own curiosity. All right, Mike, I appreciate the call. Yeah, there was his first wife sadly passed away, but then he got married right after, and there was some scumminess about that. Does anyone remember that? 888-465-2631. Fill me in. Do a little TMZ. Refresh my memory on that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brother Brian IB.
Hey, IB.
Brian, I'm gonna have to invoke the rule, man, because you got on Mike from Louisiana about calling every day, being the first caller, or conservative Doug calling in a certain hour. Well, you got to do the same with Doc from Texas. Okay, he cannot be in the first segment every day. Doc from Texas, he got to change his calls up. He has to change his calls up because you did that with Mike from Louisiana, and you did it with conservative Doug. Doc cannot be in the first segment every day. Okay?
Oh, I didn't know you were my new boss, but was there some change that they didn't tell me about, Mike, at the radio station? IB is now in management at the radio station.
Fair is fair. Fair is fair. He has to mix up his calls. You cannot be in the first segment every day like this.
I'll take that under advisement.
As for yesterday, I cannot. This guy, man, Swalwell. Oh boy, I had to turn it off. I couldn't. He's the only one that I.
Do you remember Do you remember the scumminess about Massie and his first wife passed away, which was sad about, and then he got remarried right after. But there was some type of scumminess about the new wife with the ex. There was some scandal or controversy. I can't quite. Do you remember what it was with Massie with his second wife?
No, I don't. I don't follow that clown.
Okay.
I don't. No, I don't. But the lady that was from Pennsylvania in the purple dress, oh boy, she infuriated me. But what made me more angry yesterday was Jim Jordan being so docile. He doesn't take control of that chamber. And he kind of reminded me of Trey Gowdy, because I used to like Trey Gowdy, okay? And by the way, he looks like a macaw monkey, since you want to know what he looks like, a macaw monkey, okay? But I'm getting very ticked off with Jim Jordan, because I don't think he has the spine that we need in that position, if you follow me, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, Brian, just to use an example, we know Trump is going to obliterate the deep state, and there's so many levels of it. Yes, Pam Bondi is doing much of it as well. And right now, to use one of your, because you love Star Wars, they are in that trash compactor right now, okay? C-3PO and so forth. Okay. You know how that goes. All right,
IB. You make some good points. I'll keep under advisement, Doc, but, whatever. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. It's Councilman Ray from South Palm Beach.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, I just, regarding Pam Bondi, the biggest thing I'm concerned about is the Jack Smith hearings.
Uh-huh.
And he's committed so much things against President Trump, sedition and
yes,
violating RICO and everything. And a lot of people that I speak to, they're very smart people, okay? And they say if Jack Smith is not sent to prison, indicted or anything like that under Pam Bondi, then if we lose the midterms, all bets are off. They're gonna put President Trump in prison. It's gonna be awful.
Well, they're not going to put President Trump in prison. They would have, if he would not have won re-election, he'd be in prison right now. There's no doubt in my mind. If he did not win re-election, that corrupt, what was the corrupt judge in New York whose daughter was the
Mershon
raised $100 million for the Democrats and was selling seats in Mershon. He would have put President Trump in prison in New York. He'd be in prison right now, and probably without Secret Service protection, because Kamala wouldn't have allowed it.
If I can, Brian, I'll give you just a real quick input about Mershon and how they orchestrated they wanted to convict Trump with those fake charges in a state court, because the presidential pardon only pardons federal crimes,
correct,
not local and state.
That's correct.
So that they were orchestrating this whole thing from way back.
Well, they thought what happened with that is there were several phases of this. These never Trumpers. This was they were everything that they've done with President Trump was to always try to turn the MAGA supporters against him, and they told themselves, they call this MAGA crazies, right? These MAGA crazies, they're all about law and order. So if he gets arrested, they'll turn against him. So the first one was Bragg, and then they didn't get the mugshot. So, and they said, okay, they're still behind him, but that's because it's not real to them. We didn't get the mugshot. Then they did Fulton County. And when all these criminal things failed, then they tried to kill him in Butler and then at the golf course in South Palm Beach, Councilman. And the thing about it is, everybody knows what that is. I mean, you're right. None of it worked. But, but the thing about Pam Bondi, there's a grand jury in Fort Pierce, which is MAGA town. That's where, MAGA community. There's a grand jury at the federal courthouse right now about Jack Smith and the break-in of Mar-a-Lago.
Yes.
So that's our best hope right there. And I trust the jury pool.
That's our holy grail.
Yeah, and I trust the jury pool in that courthouse's jury pool isn't just St. Lucie County. It's St. Lucie, Martin, and Okeechobee County. So I'm very confident with the jury pool for the Fort Pierce Federal Courthouse.
Me too. I don't want to take any more of your time, Brian, but I love you, and you always have a wonderful show.
All right, appreciate the call. Take care. All right, what time is it? Do I have time for? If you're on hold, stand by. No, okay, we'll take some more calls after the break. I want to remind you guys, it is tax time. You want to call Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. He is absolutely amazing. You know, when I met with Jamie Levac and he went over the tax, I was so blown away by his knowledge. And we've had multiple listeners in this audience. One of them, Lewis, you hear on a commercial. This also happened with, some people in this audience whose names would be familiar with you that I'm not going to share their names because they may not want this. But he has gone back to past people's taxes for past years and found out when they've owed money that they actually were owed refunds. And there are people in this audience, Lewis, you're hearing on a commercial, that are getting refunds when they've paid in the past, on past years. It's crazy. He's that good. Jamie Levac at Swift Tax. Give him a call. He can help you with your taxes no matter where you are in the United States. He's based in Broward County. If you want to meet with him in person, you can. But even if you're local, you don't have to meet with him in person. No matter where you are in the United States, Jamie Levac can help you with your taxes. And with Jamie Levac at Swift Tax, you can get your return in as little as 24 hours. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. That's 954-773-1587. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be right back. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll take a quick break.
Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and at Major Buy Spot, we've got the perfect gifts to make your heart skip a beat. Whether it's something sweet, something fun, or something to surprise them, you'll find exactly what you're looking for. Use promo code MySunshine10 and save 10% off your order. It's valid until February 14th. Visit MajorBuySpot.shop. That's MajorBuySpot.com today and find the gift that'll make their heart race. Major Buy Spot, where love meets the perfect buy. This Valentine's Day, take your love to the next level. At Anti-Cell, we've got gifts that make a statement. From dramatic surprises to passionate gestures, find the perfect way to wow your special someone. Use promo code SNUGGLES10 for an exclusive discount, good through February 14th. Head to Enticell.com, ENTICELLE.com today and ignite the passion this Valentine's Day. Enticell, for love that leaves a lasting mark. This Valentine's Day, give your queen the gift of warmth, love, and comfort. At Queen Showcase, we've chosen gifts that'll make your Valentine feel cherished, adored, and cozy in your love. From soft surprises to meaningful keepsakes, find the perfect way to make them feel like royalty. Don't forget promo code MyOnly10 for a discount off your order. But hurry, this offer ends on February 14th. Visit queenshowcase.shop, QUENSHOWCASE.shop today and make this Valentine's Day one they'll never forget. Queen Showcase, where love feels like home.
All right, we're still in radio break. So if you're on hold, stand by. I'll take the calls when we're back from the radio break. But this is one of the clips. This is Jaya Powell with Pam Bondi yesterday.
Department of Justice and the harm that it has done to the survivors who are standing right behind you and are waiting for you to turn to them and apologize for what your Department of Justice has done.
Members get to ask the questions, the witness gets to answer in the way they want to answer. The Attorney General can
that's
respond.
not accurate, Mr. Chairman.
Because she doesn't like the answer. So,
Mr. Chairman,
why
I have asked
didn't she ask Merrick Garland this twice?
I am reclaiming my time, and when I reclaim my time, it is
Mr. Chairman, the gentlelady's reclaimed her time.
I'm not going to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
The time belongs to the gentlelady. The gentlelady has 17 seconds.
Thank you. You're not going to answer this question, so let me just
Chairman,
say
I'll direct it to
what
you.
a massive cover-up.
No, I'm answering a question.
Chairman, will you restore her time? The witness is interrupted.
I'm not going to get in the gutter with this woman.
Stop the
She's
time
doing theatrics.
and let me have my time.
The gentlelady from Washington controls the time. The gentlelady has 17 seconds. You can proceed with your final 17 seconds.
What a massive cover-up this has been and continues to be. Donald Trump made the release of the Epstein files the center of his political campaign because he thought it would benefit him. Then you got into office, Attorney General, claimed to have a client list, only to then say that there was no list. Your deputy, Todd Blanche, met alone with Elaine Maxwell and transferred her to a minimum security prison. And now you continue the cover-up. And I wish that you would turn around to the survivors who are standing right behind you and on a human level,
Chairman,
the chair now recognizes the chair.
And what you have done.
The time of the gentlelady has expired. The gentlelady, you have no time to yield back.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It's up to those survivors to start naming the names. They have the list in their head because they're the survivors. Elon Musk said that he would pay for their legal bills, right? So do it. Why are the survivors back there with their hands up and all this stuff and matching T-shirts and not putting together the names and everything? If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back in less than 30 seconds, and I'll take the calls. That's exactly right. It's up to them now. Here we go. We're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, hi, good morning, Brian. My name is Adelaida Gonzalez, and I'm calling from DeLand, Florida.
Okay, can you put your mouth closer to the phone?
Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, I have you on speaker. My name is Adelaida Gonzalez, and I reside in DeLand, Florida.
All right,
How are you?
I'm all right, DeLand. What's on your mind?
Yeah, what's on my mind is I'm not understanding the hypocrisy with these politicians. Why are they focusing so much on Trump and the Epstein files when they should be focusing on a victim like myself as a survivor from the church? The church has assaulted me. They've come after me. They've taken my money. Molestation has been going on with children in the churches, and they just keep covering stuff and making stuff up.
Well,
about Trump.
the thing about and by the way, I'm sorry for what your trauma and everything, but the victims, the Epstein victims, they had a bunch of Epstein victims supposedly behind Pam Bondi yesterday, standing up in matching T-shirts with their fist in the air. The victims know who victimized them. It's up to the victims at this point to start naming names. Elon Musk said that he would pay for all of their lawyer fees. So the victims are the ones who have to come out with the list of who victimized them.
Well, I can give you a name of...
I don't want any names. No, we're not going to give names. No. I don't know who you are. You just can't stop saying things like that about... Start saying things like that about people.
Okay, well, I tell you what. I've come from New York, and New York City has done a disjustice for me myself. They have taken my daughter away from me when she was 12 years old.
Well, listen, I'm sorry for everything that happened to you, but that's not where we're going today. And I don't know who you are. You can't start naming names of people and accusing them of these things. But so far as the Epstein list, it's up to the victims now to do it. All right, so I'm going to play a little bit. This is Pam Bondi yesterday, making Trump proud.
He brought up the president saying they indicted me twice. They sure did. They tried to impeach him twice. And you, Mr. Nadler, were one of the leads on the impeachment. I was on the other side. I lived that with you. During impeachment, you said the president conspired, sought foreign interference in the 2016 election. Robert Mueller found no evidence, none, of foreign interference in 2016. Have you apologized to President Trump? Have you apologized to President Trump, all of you who participated in those impeachment hearings against Donald Trump? You all should be apologizing. You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I'm not going to put up with it. All they want to do, the American people need to know this. They are talking about Epstein today. This has been around since the Obama administration.
That's right.
This administration released over 3 million pages of documents, over 3 million. And Donald Trump signed that law to release all of those documents. He is the most transparent president in the nation's history. And none of them ask Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein. How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan, Mr. Jordan.
Committee will be in order.
Mr. Jordan, am I going to get an extra 45 seconds added to my time?
The committee will be in order. The time belongs to the gentleman from Texas. Ms. Bondi, the Attorney General can respond.
Thank you. The Dow has shattered 50,000 for the first time. This is crazy. They said it couldn't be done in 4 years, yet President Trump has done it in 1 year. National median rents have fallen to a 4-year low thanks to Donald Trump. That's why they want to focus on Epstein and our most transparent president in the nation's history.
Okay, so you may be saying, well, what do rents have to do and the Dow have to do with Pam Bondi and all this stuff? It has a lot to do with it, right? Rents nationwide have been dropping like meteorites, right? Why are they dropping? You know why? Deportations. The illegals were hogging up the rental properties. So the demand was higher. With the deportations, rents are dropping. Now, why is the Dow Jones breaking 50,000? Why is that important? Because, see, these out-of-whack trade deals that the United States has had with these countries around the world is not by accident. Members of Congress, the permanent Washington class, President Trump, we know how he made his money, right? The Apprentice, the Celebrity Apprentice, golf courses, real estate, development projects. How do these Washington people, how do they get rich? What are they selling? President Trump sells hotel rooms, golf memberships, right? Things like that. What do they sell? You know what they sell? They sell America out. And the tariffs, which equalized the import-export taxes between us and all these nations around the world, they owe donors. They've been making promises to donors to keep the trade deals out of whack. And they can't deliver anymore. See, the United States has been red-pilled. On top of the fact that the SAVE Act requiring state-issued photo ID to votes coming, and they're panicked. These Democrats have taken millions of dollars in campaign donations and fake jobs for family members and stock picks and all this stuff and everything else on the promises that they would deliver as being corrupt members of government. Now, because the country's been red-pilled, they can't deliver to their donors. They've made a lot of promises they can't keep. So all these things have them in a panic. The Democrat Party is on the verge of failing and fading into non-existence. Now, I was reading an article today. The rise of AOC. They're always talking about the rise of AOC. Yeah, the rise of what? Right? The Democratic Socialist, that's another failing proposition. That'll be the final nail in the coffin of the Democrat Party. Now, here's Jerry Nadler shortly before he fell asleep on television. You guys see this? Jerry Nadler actually fell asleep.
Not on our time. No way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me
I did tell you because we saw what you did in the...
Don't you like that? You don't tell me anything. I love it. She was on fire yesterday, Pam Bondi.
Not on our time. No way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me
I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
You're a lawyer, not even a lawyer.
Committee will be in order.
Time, and I should get back at least 45 seconds.
We will give you a few more seconds. I said that already.
45 seconds.
Okay, I'm timing right now, Mr. Nadler.
All right. My time. The answer to my question, how many of Epstein's co-conspirators is she indicted, is 0.
Okay. Yeah, this is, they've got nothing, so they just keep saying Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. If in every sentence or two they mention Epstein, they think they've done something. And then after this exchange, Jerry Nadler somehow went to sleep. How mentally feeble is Jerry Nadler that during all this yelling and shouting that was going on for hours, he literally fell asleep up there on the podium? No, Pam Bondi did very good today. It's about time. I get so frustrated watching these hearings and seeing these cabinet members and officials get barked at, and then they just sit there and take it. And it's so unusual. Scott Bassett did something similar last week, but not to the degree that Pam Bondi did yesterday. They ask these questions. They don't want any answers. They ask you open-ended questions, and then when you go to answer, all of a sudden they're reclaiming their time and don't let you answer. It's such a joke. It's so stupid. And they're required constitutionally to do this because they got to report to Congress. But either sit there in the sound of silence or go back at them like she did. And I thought she did a really good job, and she highlighted a lot of very important things. So all of the frustration that so many of us have had over the last year with Pam Bondi, I get it because I'm where you are, but she did really well yesterday. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, let me see. Let me try here. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
But can you hear me? I wasn't sure if you can.
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, great. Can I call you Mr. Craig? Mr. Brian?
Brian will do, but whatever. Just get to the meat. We're up again. I've got just over a minute till the break. So.
Roger that. Look, I'm a Trumper.
Oh, a Trumper.
Look,
okay. You're a Trumper.
Yeah. Look.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm short on time. Get to the butt part.
Yes, sir. Like, don't you think that Pam Bondi is building a case, and a lot of the stuff that they're deploying, that this stupid ass Democrats are
Watch your mouth.
At her.
Watch your mouth. No profanity. No profanity.
Roger that.
All right. I'm sorry. First of the day, Mike. First of the day. Oh. It's unfortunate he did that because I wanted to get to the butt part. Do you know what MAGA people do not call themselves? Fake MAGA people trying to be us call themselves this. What do MAGA people not call ourselves that fake MAGA pretending to be MAGA call themselves? You know what that is? Trumpers. He called himself a Trumper. We do not call ourselves Trumpers. Trumper is derogatory. But unfortunately, we had to let him go before I could call him out on that. All right, listen, we're going to take our break for the top of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be back right after our top of the hour break. Don't go anywhere.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
Hi, it's Dr. Philip Appleton. You've been hearing my commercials about bye-bye pain, my laser weight treatment, but today's commercial and today's spot is going to be on Tom Laporta, Laporta Roofing. What an experience I've had with him and his company. They've done a few of my friends' houses and my son and my house, and there's never a downtime. They're old school, which means you call them up, they'll be there. How many times have you called somebody up and they never show up, or they give you an excuse, weather, traffic, whatever? Tom Laporta, what a class act. The workmanship, the magnificent teamwork they have. I recommend them 100%.
Thanks, Dr. Appleton. Now do what Dr. Appleton did. Pick up your phone and call Tom Laporta from Laporta Roofing on your cell phone. 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com.
On the line, we have Lewis. He had some issues with some taxes in past years, and he called Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax, and Jamie took good care of him. Lewis, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. So tell me how Jamie from Swift Tax helped you on your taxes.
I was having trouble with another company. I called Jamie, and the next day I brought my wife in there with all the paperwork, and he straightened all my back taxes out, and I'm actually getting money back now.
Wow, this is pretty amazing. So this other company you went to told you owed the government money, and Jamie over at Swift Tax took a look and found out that not only did you not owe money, you're getting money back from the government?
Yes, I got nice big checks coming soon.
Do what Lewis did. Call Jamie Levac over at Swift Tax. 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. All right, we are in radio station break for about a minute, a little longer. So if you're on hold standby, let me grab some. I have time to get some more coffee. Hold on. All right, yeah, I made it back. Okay. We have 35 seconds and we'll be back. If you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll free. It's pinned in the live chat. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. All right, the 7 o'clock hour has begun. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Callers on hold, stand by. Newsmax yesterday had this awesome graphic on the screen. When it comes to voter ID, okay, if we're just going by voter ID, some states require it, some states don't, and it's state-issued photo ID. If you're just using that breakdown, which states did Trump win, and which states did Kamala Harris win? President Trump won every state that requires photo ID. Kamala Harris won the states that don't. In fact, Kamala Harris did not win a single state that requires state-issued photo ID to vote. And it looks like President Trump only won states that require state-issued photo ID to vote. So what does that tell you? Tells you a lot of things, doesn't it? All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian. This is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
You know, I grabbed the popcorn yesterday and enjoyed that I just enjoyed the hell out of it because the reason Pam Bondi's supposed to go in front, well, you said they have to go, but she literally went there prepared.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be talking about the crime in the country and how to get the crime down. Both parties are supposed to do that. But now, no, it's become a circus. She was prepared. She had all those photographs of all these illegals that have committed murder, rape. All of a sudden, these Democrats, for all these years, never cared about these women before. They don't care. They never cared about the trafficking of the children before. When they were coming over the border, Merrick Garland never said about all these kids that they lost, that they were flooding into the country with people that weren't even their parents, and these kids were totally lost. Not one Democrat said a word about that. This is all about a show for the American people.
Well, a couple of things here, that I've been talking about today to sum up what you're talking about. One is the list is up to the victims. Those ladies that were behind Pam Bondi with the matching T-shirts and their fist in the air, it's up to them to get together and put together a list, which for some reason they haven't done. And the other,
the reason?
Why is that? I know why. Hear what you say.
The reason is because they hate Trump, and this is all.
I'll tell you another reason. They're also
orchestrated.
A lot of them were
orchestrated with them.
Some of them were helping Epstein traffic women as adults when they were adults.
Exactly.
And I wonder how they're making, and a lot of them probably are getting paid right now by these evil forces too to go out there and trash Trump.
Listen, I'm gonna say it the way I feel. I hope I can actually say this. I don't want to get you in trouble, so keep your hand on the dump button.
If it's in question, don't say it. Just don't say it.
No, if it's not, no, it's the women that were there. Some of them were 17, 16 in high school, and a lot of them knew what they were doing. They were making a lot of extra money, and then all of a sudden they became the victim.
Well, this is what I know now. This is what I know now. Okay, well, with all that, what we know now is there's a lot of these victims that have come together. None of them ever seem to work. They seem to have a lot of time to hang out in D.C. in the middle of the week all the time. I don't have time for that. But, I get my I get my vacation once a year on our MAGA cruises. But, so someone's paying some of them at least. But they know who victimized them. Let them put the list together and release it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Well,
why don't they do that?
A lot of these old guys that did this with the money and everything, they should go. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but these women were not squeaky clean. And you're right, they're being paid by somebody. They're actually, that's their job now. Go around and just cause problems for Trump.
Correct.
That's their job.
Correct.
And there's a whole group of them. And Jerry Nadler, by the way, I love the way she attacked him because he's a total jerk. She's so good. I mean, not for nothing. She's got a lot on her plate. Sometimes we think she's not moving too fast. You realize she's not a one-man show here. I mean, just like the redactions, they wanted how many million? 3 million pages.
And a crazy thing about Pam Bondi's, she looks like she's recently had a facelift. I don't know if you guys have noticed this.
Yeah, she doesn't look her age at all.
She's 60
like
years old.
She's
60. She's going to be 61 in November. That is a 60-year-old lady.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, and I love the way she attacked, and she'll women the same as she attacked the men. It's a big game for these people, and it's sad. But I loved it. I got the popcorn out. I could sit there and watch that all day long. I could watch reruns of that.
Listen. I know. Listen, we're all disappointed that she hasn't been able to get Comey, Brennan, and Clapper. Jack Smith is still up in the air.
No.
But she's.
I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with her trying to get who. They've got to go in front of these left-wing liberal judges in Washington and Virginia.
That's correct.
Impossible.
Look at what happened. Look at what happened to the seditious six. They couldn't get the grand jury indictment in D.C. Look at Letitia James, who clearly, had all the, claiming her father was her husband on mortgage documents. Couldn't get an indictment 100%. To hold up against her. So, Adam
Schiff. The one they turn to every Sunday to trash Trump when they need a senator. I mean, they're all the same group of characters, and they won't get indicted. But I'm going to say this: I think that if Trump they lose here, these people are threatening Bondi, threatening a lot of the hearing before the 3 Homeland Security people in front of the committee the day before. They said when we're in power, you're going to be in trouble. I mean, they're threatening to throw everyone in jail here.
Exactly.
These people are sick.
Yeah, they are. I think she did a great job yesterday. And
she did better than a great job.
She did a great job. It's about time. And I think it started with Scott Bassett last week. Scott Bassett is very funny, right? And he knows how to take like the one guy, he said, you're probably going to go visit your buddy Maduro in the Brooklyn jail, he let him down. He led him down a garden path with that because how he pointed out how he lobbied Chavez and so, so he did a similar thing in a different way. But the Trump cabinet is not playing games. All right, Richie, I appreciate the call. There's an article in Mediaite, so I take this with a grain of salt because Mediaite is very left wing. It's about the great Kari Lake. We all love Kari Lake. And here's the headline. Kari Lake waited for hours in White House lobby, hoping to get Trump's endorsement to run for Congress, but failed. Okay, and she's been put in charge of the Voice of America, that whole thing. Here's the deal, okay? Arizona it's amazing to me how many counties are there in Arizona? Like 4 counties. It's amazing. There are very few counties in Arizona. Here in Florida, we have 67 counties, but there's only like 4 or 5 counties in Arizona. I was surprised, and almost everybody's in Maricopa. The John McCain Republican machine is very, very strong in Arizona still. The Never Trumpers are strong in Arizona, and the Democrats, of course, are very strong in Arizona. And they have decided that Kari Lake will never hold elected office in Arizona. That's just the way it is. Okay? And I love Kari Lake. I've interviewed her multiple times. She's been on my podcast. I've interviewed her here on the radio. Okay? And you guys know I love Kari Lake. We all love Kari Lake, and she's so good. She's so good. I was hoping she'd be the press secretary, but Caroline Leavitt's doing a good job. But Kari Lake is unelectable in Arizona because the machine is not going to allow it to happen. And because they have, in Florida, we have 67 counties. That's a lot, right? And we have Democrat counties in this very red MAGA state. And we have a lot of corruption in the powers that be. But because everything is done at the county level, it's hard for them. Because there's so few counties in Arizona, it's easier for the Never Trumpers and the Democrats to join forces to stop Kari Lake. So, I don't want to see Kari Lake fade away because she's so good. When she ran for governor and she was doing this thing where she was recording with her own camera all the interviews and then catching reporters when they would manipulate, that was all great. My advice to Kari Lake would be move to Florida, run for Congress here in Florida. Okay? Run for Congress here. She has family that live here in South Florida. Okay? And she spends a lot of time here at Mar-a-Lago. Kari Lake, move to Florida, run for Congress in Florida. And she is electable. Okay? And we don't mind. You're not going to get the carpetbagger problem because we all love you in Florida. Where in Florida, I don't know. I mean, we got a lot of good Republican areas. I don't know where there's a seat that would be available. I mean, Byron Donalds would have been a great one because he's running for governor, that seat that Byron currently holds in the House. But and Kari Lake's a very useful person. I don't want to see her fade away like Sarah Palin. But, and I do know that not only does Kari Lake have family here in South Florida, they do listen to this program, at least on occasion. You know how I know that? Kari Lake told me, okay? So move to Florida and run for Congress in Florida. We would love to have Kari Lake representing us. And in the next census, we're going to gain House seats. So that would be my advice. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. I want to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas and annuities. Annuities are amazing. No matter what happens in the economy, with an annuity, your nest egg is never at risk, and you're guaranteed that income stream for the rest of your life, no matter what happens to the economy. If Kamala Harris would have been elected, God forbid, and we were in another Great Depression with Willie Brown's girlfriend and the economy tanked, you'd still be making that guaranteed income each and every month for the rest of your life. It is life-changing. And I hear these amazing stories from listeners who have taken my advice and taken the free consultation with Jupiter Joe Thomas, and they are just so excited. There have been people in this audience who have found out that with an annuity in retirement, they're earning more money than when they were working. It's amazing. Give Jupiter Joe Thomas a call. Take advantage of that no-charge consultation. His number is 561-743-0999. I was listening to Jupiter Joe's show this week on the radio. He's on our radio stations, and he brought out, he's going to come in studio one day next week, and I'm going to talk to him about what I heard him talking about on his radio show this week. I don't want to spoil it now, but he brought up something, and it just blew my mind what he said about annuities. But I'm going to save that till he's here next week. I was about to, but I stopped myself. Give him a call. Take advantage of the no-charge consultation, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, jupiterjoe.com. We'll be right back. All right, stand by, guys.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Need a Valentine's gift? Well, flowers die, chocolate melts. A movie poster from JustMoviePosters.com is forever, or close enough. Most items are between $7 to $15. Shipping extra. Go to JustMoviePosters.com to find that special movie poster today. JustMoviePosters.com. Contracts shouldn't slow your business down, and they don't have to anymore with Xsiggy, the AI-powered platform that lets you create, review, and sign contracts in minutes, not weeks. There's no lawyers, no back and forth, and no delays. Xsiggy helps you move faster, reduce risk, and stay in control with smarter, simpler agreements. Whether you're a founder, a freelancer, or a growing team, Xsiggy does everything for you, from drafting to signing. Everything happens in one place. What are you waiting for? Try it right now at xsiggy.com. That's Xsiggy, xsiggy.com. Your digital contract simplified.
All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We're still in radio break. We'll be back in about 90 seconds or so. Here's one clip. This is Pam Bondi with Massie yesterday.
Respond, and then the gentleman can move to his next question.
It's my time. Within 40 minutes, you asked me a question. Within 40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching you red-handed.
Red-handed? There was one redaction out of over
listed as a co-conspirator.
Okay. And we invited you in. This guy has Trump derangement syndrome. He needs to get, you're a failed politician.
Gentlemen,
you need to
I
get
want
on
you to watch
these
the
matters.
video.
Mr. Chairman, please restore his time and remind the witness of the rules here.
There is no credible information. None.
Okay, I mean, this is, don't you like it when they give it back to them? Absolutely. We got 1 minute. We'll be back. So if you're on hold, stand by. We'll go to the phones when we get back. If you'd like to call in, you're welcome to do so. The number's toll-free no matter where you're located. It's pinned in the live chat. 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are located. All right? We got about 35 seconds. We'll be back. 20 seconds, guys. Stand by. We're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Call us on hold. You stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number's 888-465-2631. I was just reading during the break that Gay Days at Disney has been canceled this year. And I'm not sure how much, remember Gay Days at Disney used to be a very controversial thing. And it used to be a big story, Gay Days at Disney. And this story, you may see it reported today, Gay Days as Disney. Do you know why Gay Days at Disney has been canceled? Why do you think? Why do you think Gay Days at Disney has been canceled? You know why? Because I know a lot of people, the official story is they couldn't find sponsors for it. That's a cover story. But there's another reason. Do you know why? Every day's Gay Day at Disney World. I have been, as a Floridian, a Disney park goer my entire life. And for many, many years, I was an annual pass holder. And for Floridians, being an annual pass holder is very affordable with a lot of great benefits. And a couple years ago, I haven't been to Disney World in years. It's been several years since I've been to Walt Disney World. And even though I had not gone for a few years, I still kept my annual pass just because I had it for so long, and I let my pass go and expire. And they have driven away normal families, and it's every day's gay day. And whether it's true they can't find sponsors or not, but they're like, why should we sponsor it? Because every day's gay day, they find other ways to sponsor it. So it's not a cultural victory that they canceled gay days. If you've been to Disney World in the last few years, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And what happens with when you go to Disney now, the gays, what they do, the men and the women, right, that are gay, they get the Mickey ears that have the married couple things, the bride and groom, and they wear those around. And they're walking around with the bride and groom Mickey ears holding hands. That's how you know, right, for sure. And that's the way it is. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
You know, I also want to say that I think Pam Bondi did a great job. It's certainly good in the circus that they call Congress, but I still don't think she's very good at arresting the people who should be arrested.
Really,
but,
we have the lowest violent crime rate in 125 years. Hold on, and the lowest murder rate in 125 years. How can you say she's not good at arresting people?
No, at the big people that should be arrested, the people who conspired against President Trump. All these people.
I agree with you. We don't have Comey, Brennan, or Clapper, but how many people have not been raped or murdered because of what she's done?
Oh yeah. She's doing a great job everywhere else except the top people that everybody wants.
Well, other than the
arrested,
people that haven't been murdered or raped, you know, I mean, come on, Doug, think about it.
Yeah, I'm not against it. I think she's okay, but
okay. I mean, listen. We have the lowest violent crime rate in half of our nation's history since 1900. So how can you tell me she's not doing a good job and she's mediocre when God only knows how many people have not been murdered or raped under her watch because of what she's doing?
You got to take. I agree.
Which would you rather have? Comey and Brennan on trial on it with a D.C. jury that's going to acquit them, or hundreds, maybe thousands of people not being raped or murdered and alive?
Well, if I had only a choice, of course, I'd rather take the nobody being raped and anything.
And murdered.
I want to see both. I want to see both. To me,
I want to see the Beatles back together on stage in concert, right? But you know, I want to see the 10,000 Maniacs in concert with Natalie Merchant as the lead singer again. You know, come on. I want to see Journey back together. Come on. You know, I want to see Phil Collins on stage again, but he's got some type of disease. He can't play drums anymore. You know, I mean, come on. Come on. There's a lot of things I want.
But there's no reason I don't. All those things you said you can't do. But there's no reason why she shouldn't be arresting the top names.
They can't get indictments, man. They can't get indictments.
Yeah, that's the other problem.
You know, they got an indictment. By the way, there is an indictment against Comey in place. And so it's not that she hasn't been doing it or going after things.
Yeah, I guess she's done it because she knows it's a waste of time because, like you said,
she has gotten an indictment she has gotten an indictment against Comey. The same day, it was the same week she got the one against Letitia.
Yeah.
All right, Doug, I'm going to move on. Appreciate the call. Doug, oh my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. All right. Oh boy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
From California.
All right, can you turn down the volume of whatever device you're listening to me on?
Okay, sorry.
That's a great show. That's an awesome show you're listening to. I love it.
That's you.
I know.
Hey, Brian. I got to say, why in the hell are you suggesting that Carrie Lake go to Florida? What are you talking about, dude? She already said that she's standing her ground, her battlegrounds, and that is Arizona.
Yeah.
She's going to stand still.
She's
No
one loves Carrie Lake more than me. If you listen to I've interviewed her twice, once on the radio show, once on my podcast, and you won't hear somebody love on a politician more than I was doing with Carrie Lake. Okay, but she's unelectable in Arizona.
But earlier you said that she needs to go to Florida.
Well, she could. She's unelectable. She's unelectable in Arizona.
That's what the Democrats want.
Oh, so you think she should keep running someplace and lose, as opposed to come to Florida and win and be in Congress? That's crazy.
But yeah, there's people in Florida that can win it for us. I'm saying Carrie Lake she's going to stand her ground.
She's unelectable in Arizona.
You don't pull winners from Arizona and take them off to somewhere else.
She's not. She's lost 2 elections in Arizona. She's not electable in Arizona.
What Democrats want, my guy.
Instead of repeating yourself, okay, let's have a discussion here, okay? I'm short on time because I'm late for the break, but I want to, this stupidity that's coming out of your mouth, I don't want it to go unaddressed.
No, I'm not trying to be a dick. Sorry.
Oh boy, there we go. All right, Mike, second dump of the day. Oh boy, we'll be right back. Second dump of the day. Can you believe that? Because he knew. Fake MAGA right there. He knew what was coming. If you're on hold, stand by. Watch, he'll call back and say, I'm MAGA. I'm more MAGA than you. The number is 888-465-2631. That burns me. That really does, because we could have had a good conversation with him. Oh, boy. By the way, those of you going on the MAGA cruise, have you checked in? The way cruising works is you get to pick your time to board the ship, so it's orderly and not crowded at the port. You go on the app, you go on the Celebrity app, and you can choose your boarding time, okay? And you want to do it because they fill up. There's some people, they wait for midnight for that to become available, so make sure you go to the app and check in if you're already booked on the MAGA cruise. Hold on, let me see, what time are we coming back? Okay. That guy was so fake MAGA. I'm sure the Democrats would love her to keep running in Arizona and losing. I love Carrie Lake, but they're not going to let her win in Arizona, and she's so good. I don't care where she's from. She could be from Alaska for all I care. Carrie Lake in Congress and having that platform and everything would be spectacular. Oh, I got a couple of things I got to queue up here. Stand by. Hang in there. Where is that one clip? Oh, yes, that's the other thing I wanted. Okay. All right. We've got about 40 seconds and we'll be back. Less than a minute. Oh, boy. These people, they think we're so stupid. We'll be back shortly. If you're on hold, stand by. 30 seconds. Oh, man. After the show, I can't talk for a couple hours today. My throat's about had it. All right, hang in there. All right, we're back. Callers on hold, stand by. That caller, we had to let him go because of language, and he did that as a lifeline because he knew where I was going. You hear the panic? Did you hear that guy? Oh, we need to keep Carrie Lake running. Fake MAGA through and through, that guy, right? We need to keep her running where she's going to lose, as opposed to have her run in Florida where she could win. And you know what caused him to panic? When I mentioned that Carrie Lake has family members, by the way, very close family members here in Florida that listen to this program on the radio, okay? And Carrie Lake told me that the last time I interviewed her. The panic in his voice. I don't care where Carrie Lake represents, as long as her voice is on the national stage in Congress. She's awesome. But we could find her a place in Florida to run. That guy, he was in a panic that might happen. He was triggered. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, you missed your chance. The rest of you on hold, stand by. Okay, now this next thing I share, this is in the aftermath. They had this mass shooting in Canada, which is not getting a lot of news play. One, because the shooter is a transgender shooter, but also they have every gun control law that the Democrats fantasize about and then some in Canada, but yet they still had this incident happen. And there's a very old talking point that Democrats, watch, by the way, that guy call in and say, I'm MAGA. Watch. There's an old talking point that Democrats have when it comes to these mass shootings, that it's mostly white guys. Well, whether or not that was true in the past is irrelevant. What's going on today is what's relevant. And there's been a breakdown of mass shooting rates in the past. Now, again, we only have statistics up until the end of 2025. So there's a new breakdown of mass shootings by demographic from 2015 to 2025. Okay? Most mass shootings have been with trans, non-binary, biological males. The number one demo of mass shooters in the last decade, trans, non-binary, biological males. And a mass shooting is defined as an incident with 4 or more fatalities. The number 2, so the most shootings are from trans, non-binary, biological males. The second most common group to commit mass shootings are trans, non-binary, biological females. Isn't that something? Okay, number 3. No, it's not white guys yet. Number 3, Asian men. Number 4, black men. And finally, we get the white guys. Number 5, white men. Think about that. So there's been a major change. 6 is Asian women, and 7 is Hispanic men. But number 1 and 2, number 1, trans, non-binary, biological male. Number 2, trans, non-binary, biological female. 3, Asians. 4, black men. 5, the 5th demo in order, are white guys. There you have it. So there you go. Doesn't fit the agenda. That's why when these incidents happen, they fade away from the news and you don't get these endless gun control discussions. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's going on today?
You're on the air.
Yeah, hi, Brian. Going from Ohio.
Yes, Ohio. What's on your mind? J.D. Vance country.
Not much. I want to talk about Pam Bondi.
Yes.
And I was just going back to like what Doug was trying to say earlier, that nobody trusts her and all that stuff. And I was that way for a long time myself. But after yesterday's hearing, I think she did a very good job of sticking up for President Trump. And I know we ain't had nobody really arrested yet, but I think, there's still a lot of time to come, so.
No, there's a grand jury right now in Fort Pierce, Florida, for Comey. She got an indictment against Comey, right? That's in place right now. So that's how these things work. What's that?
I understand that, but we're battling these liberal judges. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right. And a lot of these crimes are committed in D.C. or in Northern Virginia, and you can't get an indictment in the grand juries there, and you've got to get indictments in these types of cases.
Now, here's something you might be able to answer. It's something that I don't know, and I've been wanting to understand. Is it seems like when they wanted to indict Trump, they always shopped for a judge in whatever state, So why can't the Republicans do the same thing?
No, those were done through grand juries. Those were done through grand juries in New York City and Fulton County, Georgia. So they went to liberal. These things go through grand juries, And so they went to Democrat areas with Democrat-packed juries, grand juries, to get the indictments. You can't grand jury shop like you can judge shop.
Okay, so in other words, like when they did,
but like I said, in Fort Pierce, Florida, which is where Judge Cannon's courtroom is, okay, which is under the Miami. Fort Pierce, Florida, is in St. Lucie County. It's within the listening range of our radio stations. This is
the only place I ever visited in Florida is Fort Pierce.
Well, then Fort Pierce, St. Lucie County, and Martin County are the two most MAGA counties in the United States. The jury pool for the St. Lucie County Federal Courthouse is St. Lucie County and Okeechobee County, okay, and maybe Northern Martin. I'm not sure, but Martin's a small county. So we will, and there's other grand juries in place involving some of the lawfare people, Comey and Brennan, but in particular Jack Smith over the break-in of Mar-a-Lago. So I'd be shocked if we don't get indictments out of that Florida grand jury, multiple grand juries in place in Fort Pierce.
Well, I sure hope so, because I know we've been dragging Pam Bondi through the sand here for a while.
When we have the lowest crime rate and the lowest violent crime rate and the lowest murder rate in 125 years, I think she's doing a darn good job.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I know. And that does change my mind. It really does. But, I'm just saying, I can understand why some people like Doug are being, discouraged about
Well, because they're not thinking about things like I'm sharing.
Right. Yeah, and I want to appreciate for everything you do, because it's great that you bring the news to light. So
well, I appreciate
we all know the truth.
Well, where in Ohio are you?
I'm in actually Toronto, Ohio, but
Toronto, Ohio.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
I'm in a small town. I'm close to Wheeling, West Virginia.
Oh, okay. I know where you are.
And I'm about 2 hours from Columbus, actually.
Everything's 2 hours from Columbus in Ohio.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you're right.
All right. Appreciate the call. Take care. Ohio's like in the dead center. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Mark. I'm calling from Port St. Lucie.
Mark in Port St. Lucie. What say you?
I just had a problem with the statistics you gave for mass shootings. The number one category you said were trans men, basically men pretending to be women, correct?
Trans, non-binary, biological men is the number one, yes. Category of mass shooters.
You didn't say anything. Correct, but you didn't say anything about the race of those people. If those were overwhelmingly white men combined with the other categories.
What race are they? They're the human race. There's only one race. It's called the human race.
No, okay. What do you call white? What's the difference between white and black? Isn't that race?
No.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
No. There's only. I'll explain to you. Okay. I'm surprised to hear somebody talking like you from St. Lucie County. You're an outlier. There's one race. It's the human race, and inside the human race.
I understand that.
No, you don't understand. You asked me, and I'm explaining. Okay. There's one race, the human race, and inside the human race, there are different ethnicities.
Ethnicity of the countries you come from. When it's on applications they put race. I understand.
Well, they're using the word. They're using it incorrectly. Like Neanderthals would be another race.
Okay, but aren't you understanding my point? In other words, in the first category, in the rest of the categories you're dividing up ethnicity. Okay, I'll use your word, ethnicity. What are the ethnicities of the transgender people that are committing the crimes? Because if it's mostly white men, then it is mostly white men that are doing the shooting.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
It's not. Okay. See, with the trans non-binary, there's all kinds of things going on. If you're a guy who has had, there's different drugs that they take for all kinds of conditions. Some of them have had their penis. Excuse me. Some of them have had their penises removed and such. So no, it is a demographic, and you're more likely to be shot in a mass shooting by a trans, non-binary biological male or female than you are white men.
But what if the trans-binary ones are mostly white men, is what I'm saying?
Well, I don't know. What does that mean to you?
That would mean that most of the people who are shooting other people in mass killings would be white men.
No,
even though they're pretending to be women.
There's an old phrase. Steve Kane uses this. I always give him credit because it's a good one. Figures don't lie, but liars can figure. And what you're doing is I don't know why you're so triggered about the trans, non-binary biological males being responsible for most mass shootings. Yeah, you're triggered by it. You're triggered by it.
No, I'm not.
Listen to you. You're yelling at me. You're yelling at me.
No, but
you're hysterical.
Because of the way you tell me what
why
I am.
why does this trigger you so much?
It doesn't. What I'm saying is that you all the other categories.
Are you trans? Are you trans?
No, I'm not trans.
Do you have any transgendered family members?
No.
Are you gay? Are you gay?
No, I'm a statistics person, and it's a misleading statistic.
No, it's not.
Because
no, it's not. And I'll tell you. Oh, you're a statistics person. Okay, I'll tell you why it's not misleading. Okay, Mr. Hysterical.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Hysterical.
All right. Okay, go ahead.
Trans, non-binary biological men is a new trend in this country. There's always been cross-dressers and things like this, but there were, if you met one in your life, you'd be shocked, right? There weren't that many. So it's a new demographic in our country. Trans, non-binary people is a new demographic in our country because of all this liberalism with the genders and everything. You've got to break it out. When you're looking at mass shootings, you're looking for the root cause. And obviously there's something about trans, non-binary men and women that is leading them to murder people in these mass shootings. So you've got to break down that. You've got to break down that demo and find out what about these trans people is causing them to do this.
I concede that point, but I'm still saying the question still remains. Out of the trans
I don't know
group,
how many are right. Maybe we should break it down more, Mr. Statistics. How many are right? Excuse me. How many are right-handed out of all of these? Maybe it's right-handed people doing most of the shootings, right?
No, you're not using right. You're not using right and left.
Well, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. It could be. It could be. How many of them are right-handed?
No, see,
are people with right hands? Well, get out the phone. Oh my goodness. Coastal Weight Loss Secret. If you guys called yet, Coastal Weight Loss Secret is amazing. I'm so excited. The cruise is coming back up, and I got to go buy some new clothes because my swim trunks don't fit me from last year. I only swim on the cruise. I don't wear my swim trunks any other time. Well, I did wear them when I was pressure washing my sidewalk in front of my house a couple weeks ago. I wore the swim trunks, and they were really falling off, and I had to tie them so freaking tight. They're coming down to like my ankles, and I got to buy new swim trunks because I've lost so much weight. Thanks to Coastal Weight Loss Secret. With Coastal Weight Loss Secret, there's no shots, no injections, no pills. You don't have to exercise. You don't have to starve yourself, and it works. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call. I lost about a pound a day. Now, if I would have exercised, I would have lost more, but I think I was better off not exercising because I would never have been able to maintain that. And since I had no lifestyle changes and still lost all this weight, keeping it off has been so easy. You can do it, guys. If you want to lose 25, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, 250 pounds, 450 pounds, give them a call. Schedule your no-charge consultation right now. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back.
Are you a content creator who's dreamed of quitting your job and making content creation your full-time career? You're not alone. Millions have attempted it, but most creators quit, not because they lack talent. They quit because they never become monetized. They chase views, test features, and hear from 10 different opinions and still feel like they're guessing. You can become monetized. You just need the right help and guidance. And that's what you will find in the Monetization Explained book series, available on Amazon from author Jeremy Mick. Mitchell. These aren't growth hacks or income promises. They're plain English guides on how monetization actually works, so you can build something stable instead of reactive. In Digital Products for Creators, you'll learn how to build products that sell without taking over your time, your inbox, or your content. Facebook Monetization Explained breaks down bonuses, ads, eligibility, and trust without the myths or confusion. TikTok Monetization Explained shows why earnings feel unstable, how the lanes really work, and how to build beyond the feed. And YouTube Monetization Explained walks you through how YouTube builds trust over time and why real monetization starts at the channel level, not one video, as well as other platforms Monetization Explained, which covers Instagram, X, Snapchat, and Twitch. There's no hype, no gimmicks, just the system explained clearly. What are you waiting for? Go right now to Amazon.com and search Monetization Explained by author Jeremy Mitchell and take that first step to becoming a full-time monetized content creator. The Monetization Explained book series from author Jeremy Mitchell on Amazon.
We're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Hank from Hollywood. How you doing?
All right, Hank. What's on your mind?
I called Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. He sent out Scott. Now, Scott is absolutely the best. Scott and Scott's crew are the absolute best. They gave me a great price. They did the job when they said they were going to do it. They finished the job when they said they were going to do it. The materials they used, absolutely the best. I want to thank Tom. I definitely want to thank Scott, and definitely want to thank Scott's crew. These people are number one, and I just want your listeners to know, Tom Laporta at Tom Laporta Roofing. If you need a new roof, call Tom at Tom Laporta Roofing. You're not going to go wrong. You're not going to be disappointed.
Do what Hank did. Call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing on his cell phone, 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, and online, laportaroofing.com.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard MyPillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
All right, we have about 20 seconds and we'll be back. If you're on hold, stand by. Oh, this was a great exchange on CNN yesterday. Scott Jennings, I'll play that in a minute. Oh, we got a minute. Oh, we got 1 minute. I looked at the clock wrong. Nope, we're back. No, we are back. Oh, I almost lost track of time, Mike. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brad from Troy, New York.
Hey, Brad in New York. What's on your mind?
Why do you think Pam Bondi was not able to look those victims in the face?
What victims?
The Epstein victims that were sitting right behind her.
Okay, Pam Bondi. I will answer your question. Pam Bondi, after President Trump has signed into law requiring the Epstein files to be released, has released,
which they're derelict on.
They have released over 3 million documents. Over 3 million documents. More coming all the time, right? How many documents from the Epstein files did President Obama and Biden release?
Irrelevant.
No, it's not irrelevant. The only thing that's irrelevant is you. Pam Bondi and President Trump have released over 3 million Epstein documents. I'm going to answer because you don't know. Obama and Biden released, released zero.
Ongoing investigation.
No, he was dead during Biden's administration. Long dead. Zero documents released by Biden or Obama, and he was dead.
Why do you think that the files came out now? Because
President Trump ran and said, "Vote for me. I'm going to release them," and he's doing it.
But he stopped the investigation. They said that they're done investigating all
They're
that.
releasing the files. Now, so far as the victims, okay, who were there yesterday.
Brian, there's no more investigations going on.
Excuse me. I'm speaking.
Oh, you're excused. You're excused.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yeah. Maybe you are a gentleman. I doubt it. But maybe you are. Those victims...
No personal attacks, Brian. I'm not going to personally attack you.
What personal attack did I make? I know you don't want me to say what I'm going to say. Those victims...
No, please.
What were you doing yesterday around noon?
I was at work.
Okay. Where were the victims, these victims yesterday around noon?
Why couldn't Pam Bondi...
Excuse me. No. That's not an answer. That's a question. You were at work.
That's my original question,
You were at
Brian.
work.
That's my original
and I
question.
responded. You were at work. The victims, you know what? They were at work too. You know what their job is? You know what their job is? Slandering President Trump. Slandering Pam Bondi.
About Trump. I didn't say anything about Trump.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the victims. The reason she didn't look at I will answer that question. The reason she didn't look at the victims is because the Trump-hating, slanderous media wanted a photograph of her looking at them and them putting their hands up. It's up to the victims to put a list together of the people who raped them, and then go to the FBI and say these are our rapists.
We have court. Brian, we have court documents.
How many victims? They're sealed.
There's a 13-year-old girl that claims that Trump
she's
raped
not.
her.
No, there's not. That's a lie. Get off the phone, you liar. That is a lie. It's up to the victims to put together the names of their rapist and go to Kash Patel and say arrest them. All right, I'll take one more call. I got a clip I want to play before the top. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Bill from Sanford.
Oh, hold on, Bill, while I'm answering our phones are exploding. Yeah, Bill, hold on. Okay, you're all on hold. Bill from Sanford, what's on your mind?
Well, I'm pretty sure I heard Pam Bondi say to Representative Massie that he refused to meet with her before this, and Massie did was sabotage her. Common knowledge would be if he had this major problems with her to meet in her office first before going on.
I don't know. This is a bunch of nonsense. Listen, Pam Bondi and President Trump have released over 3 million documents, okay, including the ones the other day that cleared President Trump by the police chief who was responsible for bringing Epstein to justice. Talked about this on Monday's show or Tuesday. I've lost track. You know, I talk so much, I lose track of which day that was. But, and that's it. All right. And Obama and Biden combined released zero, not a single document. And Pam Bondi has released over 3 million.
And she's doing a fantastic job. I mean, there's no question. I agree with you 100% as to how good Pam Bondi is doing for the country. And she will continue to do this. And I don't think anything will come of this Massie except being a jerk.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Bob from Sanford, Florida. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm Q. I'm from VA.
VA, the Veterans Administration?
No, it's Virginia.
I know. I'm kidding.
Really?
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, you're clever.
How does it feel to be?
It feels good to support Trump, to answer your question. All right. You should have led with the how do you feel. I wanted to share this for the top of the hour. Scott Jennings, he's awesome. He was on CNN. They're talking about the SAVE Act and voter ID, and he has one of these parrots. He's talking to this Democrat, and she just repeated this talking point, and he just filleted her. Listen.
He is actually championing a bill that actually would take voting rights away from a lot of black people in this country.
Wait, what voting rights is he taking away from black voters?
Oh, if we look at
the SAVE Act?
The SAVE Act, that's exactly what we're talking about.
Act.
That is actually going to continue to
How?
disenfranchise overwhelmingly a lot of people
How?
of color.
Oh.
There are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data. If we look at the way that it is going to disenfranchise black voters, it's the same reason why Chuck Schumer called it Jim Crow 2.0.
So,
this is the same president.
how?
If we want to continue...
You haven't said how yet.
I am talking about it. It's
How?
the way that you're putting new poll taxes on this when you're making people have... That's what we can call them now. It's kind of an idiom, right? If you want to say that people have to prove that they are citizens, that they have to prove with a voter ID, the reality is you're layering what is a constitutional right for the American people and making it harder for people to vote in this country, and it's going to disenfranchise Black voters.
Concern you that you're making all these claims? You've yet to lay out how it's hurting anyone, but 76% of Black voters think we should show an ID to vote. 80% of Hispanic voters, 83% of the American people. Are you saying that Black voters
the
are
SAVE
too
Act
dumb to know what's good for them? I
the
mean,
SAVE Act isn't just about.
It sounds pretty condescending to me.
The SAVE Act is not just
You're the
about
panic?
That is not
who want voter ID?
But to be clear, the SAVE Act is not just about IDs. The SAVE Act is about proof of citizenship.
So what?
So it doesn't. I actually.
It also makes it very hard for married women who've changed
I was just going to say. We talked about this.
Oh my goodness, women who have changed their last name because they got married can't vote. These people, that was Anna Navarro. He just filleted them. They got nothing. I want to talk about Dr. Appleton and his robotic laser away pain treatment. A lot of times people ask me, how does it work? You know, the laser of Dr. Appleton's isn't just a laser, it's a robotic laser, and it actually moves around the entire area. I give you an example. I'll use my knee, the first pain that Dr. Appleton rid me of after about 30 years of suffering, my right knee pain. The robotic laser treated my entire knee. And by the way, this goes for it could be the shoulder, the hand, the elbow. When he treated me for arthritis, it's all the same. But the robotic laser moves around the entire knee. So it treats the top, the sides, the back of the knee, the other side, then the top again. And it's moving during the entire treatment. Not just the knee, no matter what part of your body is being treated, the robotic laser moves around. So it heals you. It repairs the damage that's causing you the pain, but it's treating the entire area around, not just from the top or the side. It's amazing how it works. And the robotic laser not only is 100% painless, you don't even feel it when it's happening. There's no shots, no injections, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime, and it works on every type of pain I've ever heard of. And I've learned about a lot of new pains like plantar fasciitis. I never heard of plantar fasciitis until listeners started telling me, hey, I used to have plantar fasciitis and now it's gone thanks to Dr. Appleton and his laser wave pain treatment. It works on every type of pain I've ever heard of. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. If you have x-rays or scans, bring them with you. Dr. Appleton will gladly take a look at them. And also this, the consultation is free. All right, so take advantage of the no-charge consultation and let Dr. Appleton tell you how he can rid you of pain like he's done with me 7 times. 954-973-0710, 954-973-0710, and online, AppletonCairo.com. All right, we're coming up on our top of the hour break. Call us on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show, which is flying by today. My name is Brian Craig. We'll be back right after this break. And let me play the rest of this I didn't get to because I was out of time.
Before, it's not. It actually, there's an argument to be made that red state voters, women, poor white voters could be just as.
I know you think they're dumb too, don't you? I mean, that's the thing. I hear these arguments. I've heard Democrats all week long.
No, please don't. No, you listen.
There's the deflection from talking about Donald Trump's racism.
I'm actually
there.
You should be thinking about your constituents or your.
Yeah, I think they're smart enough to figure out how to register to vote. Abby.
Hold on. Most Americans don't have a passport. Many Americans don't have access to their birth certificate. Many women, a majority of women who change their names for marriage have to provide additional
everybody has access to their birth certificate.
They've changed their legal names in order to register to vote.
I have heard Democrats make these same arguments.
Why don't you actually respond to this
Oh my goodness. Everyone has access to their birth certificate. All right, stand by, guys. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere.
Good morning.
Hey, how you doing?
Good morning.
All right, hold on. I'm not sure what time we're coming back yet. Okay, hold on, let's see.
I'm not sure what time.
Okay, we got a couple minutes. I'll put you on hold. I'll be right back with you. All right, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. All right, guys, hang in there. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. If you're on hold, stand by. 4. Oh, we got about 90 seconds and we'll be back, guys. About 90 seconds. Okay, Steve, we got about 90 seconds.
Okay. You got somewhere you're going, or we
I've
just
always
gonna take
got
calls?
something. I'll do both. I got a couple of things. I may take some. We'll take calls too. We'll do both.
All right.
Okay, hold on. Okay, stand by. 15 seconds. All right, the 8 o'clock hour has begun. My name is Brian Craig. Steve Kane is here, and this is the Steve Kane Show. Oh, man, a lot of great things. I wanted to take a call or two, or do you want to I got a bunch of stuff to cover. All right.
Do you have an update? You just at the start, I just haven't heard anything this morning. Any updates on the kidnapping?
No, nothing.
Okay.
That's what happened. Yeah, nothing.
I don't know why they just don't announce it. I told them we did it on the first day, and they just won't announce it.
They found
dragging this thing out for.
They found a glove somewhere in the desert, so I don't know.
It's their brother-in-law. Did it on day one.
Yeah.
What's his name? Roberto or something. Anyway, go ahead.
All right, let me take a call or two, then I'll bring up a couple things because there's a lot to cover. Hang in there. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Michael from Palm Beach Gardens. Brian, who was the one Democrat that voted in favor of showing photo ID at voting?
You mean against it?
Photo ID.
Against it? I don't know off the top of my head.
No, there was one.
The Democrat who voted for it? I don't know.
Yes.
What's
his last name?
I don't know who did that.
I heard. I thought it was John Ellis, but I called the Capitol. There's no such person.
I'm looking it up right now. I'll give it to you in a minute. Hold on. It's I don't know. I got an article about it. I can't remember.
Regardless of his name, what did you want to say about it?
No. I applaud the fact that he was in favor of showing a photo ID at voting.
Well, you don't hear about this too much anymore. There used to be this thing called Blue Dog Democrats, and Blue Dog Democrats were conservative. They were Democrats in conservative districts, and there's still some of those out there, right? So they may vote for something, right? But I went over in the last hour. Kamala Harris only won states where in the last election where voter ID is not required. Required.
I think was it Virginia?
No, there's a bunch of states that don't require ID, and Kamala Harris, in fact, Kamala Harris won every state that does not require voter ID and did not win a single state that requires it. So what does that tell you?
Right. All right, thanks, Brian.
All right, I appreciate the call. Yeah, it's just, that's why in that hearing yesterday with Pam Bondi, That's why the Democrats are in such a panic. Did you see any of that Bondi hearing yesterday, Steve?
I saw her a couple times. She was great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was spectacular. And the Democrats...
Did you say she was 80 years old?
60. 60.
60.
She'll be 61 in November. She just had a facelift.
Well, do you know that, or are you just going...
I can see it. I can see it. She looks about 10 years younger than she did when she first became Attorney General. I saw her last week with the president in the Oval Office, and I bet you she has the same cosmetic surgeon as Martha McCallum on Fox. Martha McCallum on Fox has had one of the best facelifts I've ever seen. And she was having a lot of neck problems, and she got a full facelift and took care of that. And Pam Bondi has had a massive facelift. But she didn't need it. No, she was beautiful. I mean, she's like, she's a 60-year-old lady. Think about that. She's 2 years away from Social Security age. And look at her. I know, she's good. And she did a great job yesterday. And
I loved it.
The Democrats are in a panic over the fact that the Democrat Party is about to fade away into non-existence.
Well, I don't know where they get their information, but I'm in a panic myself.
Why?
And it's not because I think that... Why? Because I think that we're about to get murdered in the midterms.
Why?
That's why.
Why would you say that?
Because probably has to do with all the results up till this point.
Oh, and these special elections that nobody votes in? Nah.
Well,
no.
If you're not nervous, I think anyone who's not nervous is in
well,
denial.
it's a good thing not to worry about things that you have no power over or control over. So we don't have any power over that. But these special elections, there's no turnout. So the Democrats win when people don't turn out. But you look at the polls, right? About 74% of blacks support voter ID. That means they're with Trump and the Republicans.
Yeah, but people certainly, I have a different philosophy about these elections than most people. I think the elections are not about the candidates, but they're about the voters. And I think people have started to lose their mind again. When I look across the country at how many people I'm talking about these polls, of course. I know if it was just a couple of polls, but I think the country is in shock with this stupid refugee thing.
No, the country's on our side. That poll, about 74% of blacks support voter ID. Those are likely voters. That's a poll of likely voters. Those are the ones that vote. Okay.
Well, there's nobody hopes you right more than me, but I'm nervous about it.
Well,
I think the voters are in shock. I think from all this refugee thing.
Yesterday you were asking a question. I had the answer to it, but I was hoping a Democrat in the audience could put two brain cells together and come up with it. But you were talking about affordability, right?
Affordability.
Yeah, affordability. When they talk about affordability, mainly what they're talking about are rents, because rents have been so unaffordable. Rents nationwide have been dropping like rocks from the sky because of the deportations. All right, they're because the illegals have been hogging up the rentals. That's part of the affordability. I was talking about Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is probably the greatest attorney general this country has ever had, and has accomplished more than any attorney general ever has.
He's very impressive. I mean, there's no question of that. But I just don't know how to read all these.
Well, I'm telling
tea
you.
leaves.
I'm telling you. This is one of the tea leaves. And Pam Bondi. I was talking about this earlier, and this is how it applies to the midterms. We have the lowest crime rate since 1900. That's half the country's history, 125 years. And that includes the lowest murder rate and violent crime rate in 125 years.
But let's cut to the chase. Why do you think that the polls are reacting the way they are?
They're all in favor of Trump's positions, all of them. There's no polls that don't have people in Trump's camp. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Steve. All the polls, like, not only are murders down, the mayor of Chicago was on TV the other day. The murder rate is down 30% in Chicago because of what Trump has done when he sent the feds into Chicago. He didn't even send the National Guard in, just federal agents.
So is the mayor of Chicago now on our side?
He never will be. But people in the country overwhelmingly are on our side if you look at every poll. Every poll, we're winning.
Well, I hope you're right, because if it's going to be a long, cold winter, the 2 years if we lose.
Well, we'll worry about that if it happens. I mean, what are we going to do?
Well, turn everybody out to vote. When is voting day, by the way?
November. Well, we got the primary. Primaries are at different times in different places. So there's no unified primary day. All right, let's take some more calls. You're on the air. What's your name? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Joellen.
Hey, Joellen, how are you?
So, good. How are you, Steve?
Good.
So I'm just calling
a little
about the
apprehensive.
midterms. Apprehensive about what? About the midterms?
Yes.
Yeah. You know what? A lot of people, I've been talking to people, and, some of them, they are waking up. They said, I didn't realize how important the midterms were. And I'm going to vote. But, they really got to get that message out. I think it's so important because, but what I'm saying is,
Trump is on the air every day with the message. And I can't, if I have to listen to how hot the economy is another time, I mean, he's getting the message out. That's not the problem. The problem is these people are in shock from all from all the demonstrations and the Minnesota crap. The people are in shock, and they're not operating in their own best interest.
You mean because of everything going on, and so they don't think Trump's doing a good job because of
I think
they don't like what he's doing.
I think it's not personal towards Trump yet, but it's headed in that direction. It's been forever since we've won a primary.
Are you watching CNN and MSNBC again? Because every poll, Steve.
I watch Fox mostly.
Every poll has people in Trump's camp on every issue that you're talking about.
Yeah, you're always going to have people that don't like these people, ICE going in there and arresting people, but that are just citizens, but I think they are working on targeting the criminals more, and I think that's what they're working on right now. But what I always say is, what is the alternative? What, you going to vote for Democrats, or are you just not going to sit? You're going to just sit out and not
it's not my vote they're going to worry about. I'm going to be voting for Trump and straight Republican.
Joellen, listen.
The problem.
There's always going to be Democrats, and they're all stupid. Like, you're calling me from Las Olas. Look at what these Democrats are doing that run Fort Lauderdale. They're going to cut down all the trees on Las Olas Boulevard. There's always going to be Democrats, and they're stupid. Okay, but every single poll, not only are we winning, we're winning in key demos, the victim groups, right? The blacks are on our side, both on voter ID and the deportations. The Hispanics are on our side on voter ID and deportations. So we if we have a massive turnout, we'll win.
Yeah, if we have a massive turnout, I think but people have to realize that. Not everybody turns on the TV and listens to Trump. I mean, I think more locally, people have to, our representatives have to make it known.
Well, listen, we're late for the break, Joellen, but I appreciate the call. Okay. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. Steve, I'm going to put you and everyone on hold. We'll be right back.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
All right, we'll be back shortly, guys. Oh, man. No, we're winning everything. I mean, look at this. CNN has lost nearly 2/3 of its viewership in the last 10 years. Think about that. What does that tell you where the liberal mindset is, right? Tells you everything you need to know where the Democrats stand. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll take some calls when we get back. Less than a minute. Stand by. On the line, we have Jamie Levac from Swift Tax. It's tax season. You know, Jamie, by now, people have received their 1099s, their W-2s, and all their other tax forms. Now that people have all their tax information together, what are they supposed to do now?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Brian. You know, employers should have already issued any tax forms that you need. Any bank should have issued any mortgage interest forms that you need, along with health insurance information. If you have everything together and you feel like your accountant has not been getting your maximum deductions and really getting you a maximum refund, then I suggest you give me a call. If you have even the slightest doubt that you're not getting every dollar that you need, you know, that's where I come in. I'd be more than happy to take a look at everything. It can be cumbersome, you know, gathering all the documents and making a decision, but, you know, calling me and creating a strategy one time could save you a lifetime worth of headache. Taxes are very stressful. It's very complex. It's a language of its own. You know, instead of, you know, just trusting this with anybody, give me a call. At the end of the day, I'm here to help you save money any chance I get. And a call is free. A call is free.
That's
you know,
right.
Spending 10, 15 minutes with me on the phone can help you, you know, in the long run at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And, you know, with the big, beautiful bill, the entire tax code is changed. And Jamie Levac at Swift Tax knows that new tax code inside and out. He's going to make sure you get every deduction that you're allowed to under the law to maximize your return. And with Jamie Levac at Swift Tax, you can get that money in your account from that return in as little as 24 hours. Give Jamie Levac a call right now. You can also text. This number rings directly to Jamie Levac at Swift Tax, 954-773-1587. 954-773-1587. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane is here. Steve, I hope this isn't going to become me being your life coach where I got to convince you that the world's not going to explode and you're going to be okay. Because, I mean, you know, you look at what's going on and things are going incredibly well everywhere. So, I just don't know what I don't know what news you're watching.
I'm watching all the news.
Well,
I watch a lot of stations, a cross-section of stations. Look, I mean, to say, I watch Fox, and Fox is telling me that they're I don't know whether they're strong enough to say that we're in trouble in the midterms, but most of the comments I hear are brands.
Bunch of never-Trumpers and idiots. Yeah, and now part of the thing is...
On Fox?
Yeah, there's never-Trumpers there talking. You know, they have liberals over there. Now, the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping saga is hijacking the news cycle. So there's no doubt about that.
Disappeared this morning.
Well, there's no developments. Nothing's happened other than they found a glove yesterday somewhere outside.
Well, they're going to come to their own. Probably today, they're going to figure out that glove solves the case.
I don't know.
The brother-in-law. I've said from day one. What did I say on the first day?
The brother-in-law. Yeah.
Well, that's who it is. Why don't they ask me? I'm waiting for my phone to ring.
Yeah, well, But because the Nancy Guthrie case is hijacking the news cycle, you're not getting much political news. That's it. And maybe that's one of the reasons they're dragging it out so much, is to keep all this good news out of the news. I
don't think they're going to be able to keep it away that long, I'm afraid.
No, that's what they do. That's what they do. But it's one of two. It's either the son-in-law or an illegal or both. He could have a conspirator.
It is both. He's both the son-in-law and he is. He's not a.
He's Italian.
Illegal,
he's Italian.
Hispanic.
No, he's Italian.
Yeah.
He's Italian. He's Italian.
Well.
And we know the good Italian people would never do anything like this, so I'm sure he's clear. But the inside joke, guys, inside joke. But if they find out it's an illegal that killed Nancy Guthrie, watch that story disappear for the media like nobody's business. They don't. That's their biggest nightmare. But
are you kidding? If they found out it was an illegal,
the liberals they'll drop it. They'll drop the story. It'll be a one-day story. Oh, illegal, boom. They'll move on. They don't.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, they don't want that out there.
I think that's the one thing that could turn things around.
The last time, I cannot remember the name of this person, but this was a few years back, like maybe 5 years ago or so. The last time there was a national story like this, it was a girl in Kansas who was murdered while she was out jogging. And the entire national media went to Kansas to cover the story. And then footage came out, and they found out it was an illegal. He kidnapped her while she was jogging, raped and murdered her. They got out of Kansas the next day and dropped the story and didn't cover it. And the entire national media were there in Kansas. It was like 5 years ago or so. Now, the guy did get convicted, but you wouldn't know that by the legacy media. They didn't want anything to do with that story when they found out the rapist murderer was an illegal. That was it. And Nancy Guthrie, it'll have a little more leg to it because her daughter's famous, but they'll if it's an illegal, they'll disappear the story from the news cycle. But, the thing, Steve, with the news, the political news has been really light in the mainstream media this week. Let's face it,
Well, it is true that this kidnapping has taken over everything. There's no question.
Yeah, and I can tell that when I do my show prep in the morning. I got to dig through mountains of Guthrie kidnapping stories before I can get into what's going on outside of that. And because it's hijacking the news cycle, you're not getting, like, for example, there's a story this morning in the Daily Mail. This is an interesting story. In the last 10 years, CNN has lost 2/3 of their viewership in the last decade. 2/3. Okay?
Well, that's a trend that's sweeping all of the media throughout.
That's what the liberal would tell you. No. Our listenership is the largest it's ever been here on this program.
Well, that's true, but I'm talking
Fox
about...
News, Newsmax are through the roof. Fox News and Newsmax are at record viewership levels, like us. Well,
that's what I'm saying.
That's a poll. That means there's fewer liberals to watch their garbage on CNN. They've been red-pilled. They're MAGA now. They're watching Fox or Newsmax or listening to us. So,
Listen, from your lips to God's ears, another one of my famous sayings.
Yeah.
I hope you're right.
And
you know where I'm rooting.
And this midterm election loss doesn't that they use for, the party in power and the second term, they lose. That doesn't apply to President Trump because this is a historical second term because it's non-consecutive, right? And, so there's a lot of factors into the Trump second term that make those things not apply. But CNN's ratings dropping by 2/3, There just aren't as many liberal Democrats watching the news anymore. They're being red-pilled and becoming us.
There's no
Republican.
question of that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no question of that, but I'm just not sure it's going to translate in this election.
All right. Well, okay. Well, listen, we'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. If you'd like to call in, please do. If you're a therapist, call in. Steve needs some therapy or life coaching or I don't know.
The Gold Report will probably cheer me up.
Well, that's not for about 20 minutes, but, you know. But anyway, the number to call in is toll-free, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're listening. 888-465-2631. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. I'm going to put you and everyone on hold. We'll be right back after I tell you, before we go, about those of you out there that are suffering from neuropathy. Oh, Steve, before we go, I want to talk about Lighthouse Medical and neuropathy. You know, you had neuropathy in the worst way, and Lighthouse Medical, they have a treatment for neuropathy, a treatment that works, and a treatment that lasts. And they can help you with your neuropathy no matter where you are in the United States. Steve, you had your neuropathy treatment over 3.5 years ago now. Not only did you see immediate relief after your first treatment, but your neuropathy has not returned. So if you or someone you love is suffering from neuropathy, call Lighthouse Medical. The consultation is free, and they can help you no matter where you're located in the United States. Now, they're located in Pompano, and you're welcome to go in person. But if you're in another part of the country or even outside the country, Lighthouse Medical can help rid you of neuropathy like they did Steve Kane. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. We'll be right back.
Need a Valentine's gift? Well, flowers die, chocolate melts. A movie poster from JustMoviePosters.com is forever, or close enough. Most items are between $7 to $15. Shipping extra. Go to JustMoviePosters.com to find that special movie poster today. JustMoviePosters.com. If you enjoy dark, atmospheric stories filled with mystery, power, and hidden truths, The Drowned Covenant is a book you should know about. Available now on Amazon KDP. The Drowned Covenant pulls readers into a world shaped by secrets, sacrifice, and a pact that was never meant to surface again. As the story unfolds, old loyalties are tested and buried truths begin to rise. This book is perfect for readers who love immersive storytelling, morally complex characters, and stories where every choice carries a cost. If you're looking for a gripping read that stays with you long after the final page, The Drowned Covenant is available now on Amazon. Sports talk is everywhere, but if you're tired of those same old boring shows, there's a podcast you'll want to add to your podcast playlist right now. Height Differential. The Height Differential podcast brings you the games, the stories, and the moments that matter from two completely different perspectives. Host Nick stands at 4'10" and Neil at 6'6". And when it comes to sports takes, debates, and opinions, the difference, it's just as big. These two friends break down sports from way up high and closer to the ground, with big takes, hot debates, real laughs, with no boring panels, no recycled talking points, just honest, entertaining sports conversations you'll actually want to tune into. New episodes drop each week, covering the moments everyone's talking about and the ones everyone should be talking about. Find Height Differential on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and everywhere else you get podcasts, as well as HeightDifferential.com. Do yourself a favor. Add the Height Differential podcast to your playlist right now and get sports talk from a whole new angle.
All right, we got less than a minute. We'll be back. All right, Steve, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, I got less than a minute. We'll be back. About 40 seconds, so hang in there. Okay, 20 seconds. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. Steve's here. It's the Steve Kane Show. Before we get back to the issues, I want to talk about a personal issue, and that's your home security and safety. I'm talking about Sloman's home security. You know, all this in the news about cameras and everything and security systems. They don't do you any good if you don't have them hooked up. And Sloman's Home Security is offering a free home security system with free professional installation and 24/7 central station monitoring. You get all that for $24.95 for 5 years. Give them a call, 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. All right, I'll tell you a story I read this morning, Steve, just to give you an example, okay, of how we're winning. This one cracks me up, and I saw this reported in multiple places, and every article, they didn't have the reason. Gallup is no longer going to have the daily presidential approval rating. They're no longer going to do that poll. Gallup, for 60 years, has had the daily presidential tracking poll. For 60 years. They announced they're not doing it anymore. What does that tell you?
I don't know. You tell me.
That Trump is going through the roof, and they're trying to suppress the great news. If the daily presidential poll was showing Trump tanking, believe me, they would keep it going, and that would be a highlighted story. But they don't want every day that he's doing well. His support is higher than it was when he got elected this second time. Believe me. And everyone is, I'm reading these different stories, and they have different, oh, well, you know, it's a data thing. No one pays attention to that anymore. BS. Doesn't that make sense?
But what you got to hope is that the voters are in the mood to make sense.
If the Gallup daily presidential tracking poll showed President Trump tanking in the poll every day, you don't think they would keep it going? In an election year?
I think you're making an assumption that may or may not be true.
In an election year, they stopped doing that poll. And election years are when people are following polls more than any other time. You got to read between the headlines. Yeah, I mean, come on. Pollsters, when it comes to political pollsters, they make most of their business during election years. This is an election year. And for them to announce that they're not going to have the daily presidential tracking poll anymore during an election year. When I first saw that story, I thought, can't be true. And then I looked, it was in multiple places. Oh, come on, give me a break. Give me a break. Because Trump, the trend is that Trump is getting more and more popular all the time with these different stunts they pull.
One thing is sure, they better turn out to vote or we're going to be in trouble.
I don't know why you're so depressed.
You know, you got states swings down. I'm kind of quandary here because I'm not somebody that likes to stay in bad moods. So
yes, you are. That's not true.
No, I'm not. No, I've tried to talk myself out of it, but then you get me going like this, and I enhance the degree of my pessimism.
Steve, come on. In an election year, for them to all of a sudden, they have been keeping the presidential daily tracking poll since like Kennedy. Why? What other explanation is for them to no longer do the daily tracking of the presidential approval? It's the daily presidential approval rating. No longer going to do it in an election year. There's no other reason other than Trump is. Hold on, guys. I've put everybody on hold. But there's no other reason for them not to do it. All right, do you want to take some calls?
Yes, let's do that.
All right, maybe there's a life coach on hold. I don't know. We'll find out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Charlie from Palm City, Florida.
Hey, Charlie.
Good morning.
Charlie, how are you?
Good, Steve. Good. So I think Trump's got enough pull to make his own poll. You know, let's start polling all America through the Trump poll.
Okay. Well, listen. This is the thing. There's the daily presidential tracking poll is one that all the media use and have used it for over half a century. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. And for them to suspend doing that poll in an election year, Trump could have a poll, you could have a poll, anybody can do a poll, but none of them are. The reason they're suspending the daily tracking poll is so that the media aren't forced to report it. And if Trump comes up with a poll, they won't report it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay. What about Quinnipiac? Are they going to do a poll?
Quinnipiac, all right. I can't, I can't go into this world of depression. I am not a therapist. I am not a life coach, okay? And I'm not here to make Steve or anybody in this audience feel good, okay? Maybe we should have Dr. Lemaski on. Anybody got, my goodness. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Charles from North Carolina. How are you doing?
All right. What's on your mind, Charles?
Here
we go.
I don't want to interrupt what you were saying necessarily, but you were talking about...
Of course you do.
The Gallup poll. As we all do. But you were mentioning the Gallup poll and Gallup polling it after 88 years.
88.
See, I will say this. But I will say this, it has been the worst poll for President Trump in terms of actually showcasing his level of support.
No. In fact, President Trump,
36%,
slow down.
Take turns, guys.
Slow down, caller. Okay.
Go ahead, your turn.
The polling numbers that you're giving, I know I hear a lot of Trump haters like you call in with this 30-something% approval rating of Trump. I don't know where you guys are getting that, but even if it's a true polling number,
it was Gallup's last poll.
That is not a poll. Excuse me. Excuse me. Let me finish.
Guys,
I got it.
Let me play traffic cop.
Yeah, I don't need a traffic cop.
If you're both talking together,
I don't need a traffic cop. This liberal's not going to let this out. Any poll, when you're doing polls, okay, there's several types of polling samples that matter, and there's a whole bunch that don't matter. And if you've got a poll, I don't care if it's Gallup or Rasmussen or Fox News or the Trump Organization that shows Trump at a 30-something approval rating, that is a polling sample that is flawed. When you're polling for President Trump and the midterm elections, caller, what is the most scientifically accurate polling sample?
Okay, I was simply responding to your claim.
No, I know, and I've responded. So when you're doing a poll,
you said the reason that Gallup was polling.
No, I heard. No. I don't need a parrot to repeat. Listen, I don't need a parrot to repeat what they already said. Okay, when you're doing a poll. Excuse me. Hey, listen. You don't have to keep. You don't have to.
If you don't let me play traffic cop, no one's going to hear it.
He's just repeating the same thing over. He's like
but you're repeating what you're saying, both of you at the same time.
Listen, caller.
Nobody can hear it.
When you are doing a election poll for the midterms, what is the most scientific voting sample for the poll?
You have an answer for that?
And this is complete.
He doesn't know.
I was simply responding.
All right, enough. All right, you're off. I can't.
You're not responding to the question.
He's gone.
That's the problem.
A lot of these liberals, parrots. People think parrots. Some people think parrots can talk. Parrots
and they also know that if you go back, they get involved in a give and take with questions and responses. They also know they're going to lose, so that's why they overtalk.
Yeah, parrots cannot talk. They can only mimic a sound that they've heard. And when you hear these liberals, they don't even know what they're saying. They're just repeating some sounds that they heard on MS Now. Though 34% the Gallup. If the only polling that matters for the midterms when we're talking about whether or not we're going to have a MAGA victory are polls of likely Republican voters. President Trump's approval rating among likely Republican voters right now is at 93%.
All right, let's see if we can find somebody who'll dialogue with us.
A liberal? You're asking for a lot. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
Hi, Brian.
How
are you?
Good.
Well, I tell you, if you look at these numbers from two standpoints, one is the polls as far as the political situation we're in and with the CNNs, the MSNBCs and that. But it's also culturally now. I think we got a cultural thing from this halftime show that they shoved down our throat with the Bad Bunny
that was a good sign. That was definitely a bright spot.
Yes, definitely a bright spot. I don't expect the Bad Bunny's going to be doing too many halftime shows in the future.
Did you see what happened to Bad Bunny?
No.
This is what I'm about to share with you. Do not look this up until after 9 o'clock. Don't do anything until after 9 o'clock. That's when we go off the air.
Definitely not, Brian. No way. No way.
Okay. Many years ago, Paul McCartney had a great band called Wings.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Beatles is before my time, but Wings, I was a little kid, but Wings was a very good band. He was married to Linda McCarthy, who since passed away, and she was in the band. She played keyboards in the concerts for Wings, and she would sing backup vocals. And some of you may remember this. And some engineer got ticked off, a sound guy, and he released publicly Linda McCarthy's vocal track from the concerts with Wings. And it was pretty bad.
Okay.
It was bad. I mean, she couldn't sing. But it doesn't matter. She's doing backup, and she couldn't sing. She probably wasn't even playing keyboard, but Paul wanted her up there. You know, it was just fun. Come on, be in the concert, Linda, you know, and all this.
Yeah.
Well, what has been publicly released this week is the track from the Super Bowl of Bad Bunny's performance, but just his vocals. And let me tell you something. I would want to hear Linda McCarthy see "Blinded by the Light" all day and all night before you'd want to hear Bad Bunny.
Really?
Not only can he not sing, I don't think he can speak. And you know, you've heard a lot of Spanish speakers are saying they couldn't understand what he was saying. When you hear when I first saw this,
Brian, you sure you don't want to take calls on that?
Well, I will. I'm telling people about it. But the thing about this Bad Bunny track, okay? When I first heard it, because you never know with all the AI and stuff, I said this can't be real, and then it's all over the place.
Did you get the translation on what he was actually saying, Brian? Because I heard a lot about that.
The lyrics, they got a big fine. But if you go back and listen to it, I don't know if that fine's going to hold up, because he cannot speak Spanish or English. It's not just that he can't sing. I don't want to be mean to people that are challenged or have family members that are challenged. But he sounds like he's mentally impaired. I'm going to tell you something. I felt bad for him. He seems like a guy who knows how to dance, and he's got these cool moves. It's like Milli Vanilli. I mean, it's like Milli. That's the closest comparison I could think of. Better than Linda McCartney. And by the way, those Milli Vanilli had good songs. That was a great album. I still have it on my playlist.
But if you look, how much damage did this halftime show do? I know a lot of Latino people, and they say that's not what we're about.
The vocal track of Bad Bunny, if those circulate, and they're going viral on X, he's done.
Okay. Did you see the short video right after the show when he met with Roger Goodell?
When they hugged?
And then as he was walking away, he looked like he was terrified, like somebody was after him or something. I don't know what that was about.
What do you mean? Roger Goodell was after him? I saw them.
The Bad Bunny. The Bad Bunny looked like, I don't know, like somebody was after him or something. He was like kind of freaking out.
I don't know. But go after anybody out. By the way, hey Brian, we got to run. We're late for the break. But anyone out there who has heard the Bad Bunny track of just him, just his vocal track from the Super Bowl, call in. I mean, Steve, it's you know what it sounds like? It sounds like a caveman talking, is what it sounds like.
What?
A caveman.
A caveman?
It's gibberish. With every once in a while you hear it, yeah. But it's... While I can't speak or understand English, I took English in high school and in college. So I can hear the words and differentiate the words of Spanish. I just can't speak it or anything. But I am not exaggerating this. And if anyone out there has heard the vocal track of Bad Bunny, call in and let us know. Okay, now Valentine's Day is just a couple days away. Give your Valentine the gift of, well, it very well could be life. And that's go over to Life Imaging FLA. You know, a lot of people, men in particular, you know this, Steve, they don't go and get these scans done because they don't want to know. They don't want to know. And they think, oh, out of sight, out of mind. Well, if you don't want to know, you could end up dead. You know, the great Valentine's Day gift that you can give your Valentine is do what I did. Go to Life Imaging FLA, get that heart scan. Make sure you ask about the cancer scan too. When I told my wife, when I walked out of Life Imaging FLA and they gave me my results, no plaque buildup, zero blockage, I called my wife as I was walking out the door. The sense of relief on my wife's voice, I mean, you could hear it. It was a relief off my shoulders too. But we've had many listeners who have found out that they have heart issues, that they have blockage, that they have plaque buildup, even cancer, tumors in this audience. Give your Valentine the gift of you being alive. Call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan now with a few minimum requirements, valued at $699. From your cell, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250. Just say free heart scan and you'll be connected in seconds. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve. Okay, hold on. Have any of you heard the Bad Bunny track without the, with just his vocal track? Have any of you heard that? I can't be the only one. Pretty bad. Stand by.
Hello.
Hey there, we've got 1 minute and we'll be back. So
okay.
All right, Steve, are you there?
Yeah, stick with the Bad Bunny.
Don't worry. We'll be back in less than a minute. I got William on the line, and then we'll take some calls. Hold on. Stand by. Less than a minute. Okay. $30 seconds. All right, it's time to check in with William Youngerman with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Metals looking very stable, building a very firm base for which I would like to call a launching pad for much higher prices, and that could be coming soon. The market on gold yesterday trading in a range of $5,018 all the way up to $5,118, $100 range on gold. Can you imagine? So gold closing out today at $5,083.10, down $58, or up $58.30. Gold $5,083, up $58. Silver up $3.46, closing out the day at $84.16 the ounce. Platinum was up $46 at $21.31, and palladium gained $8 at $1,699. Overnight, we saw gold trading in a range of $5,045 on the low, up to $5,101 on the high. Currently at $5,077. That's just down $6.10. Silver down $1.26 at $82.90. Platinum down $10 at $2,121 the ounce. And palladium down $14 at $1,685. So gold's steady above 5,000 right now. We'll see where we go from here.
Absolutely. And don't forget, you got today and tomorrow of Valentine's Day shopping. And William Youngman, what are some of the things that you you offer that are great Valentine's Day gifts?
Yeah, we have gold bracelets, necklaces, rings, sterling silver. We've got a nice assortment. Again, you have to ask to see our displays. We do not display these things. They're wholesale only. So for our Steve Kane listeners, we make that available. Also, I want to remind everybody, we will be closed Monday for President's Day.
Oh, yes. Okay. All right, well, listen, give William Youngerman a call. He opens up at 10 a.m., 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. His address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. All right, William Youngerman, we'll finish out the week tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, take care. All right, Steve, you back with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I'm going to put you on hold for a second. I'm going to answer all these phone lines that are coming in. All right, okay, Steve, are you with me? Oh, hold on, I hope I didn't lose Steve at the end. Okay, are you with me?
I am.
Okay, now I do want to tell you guys, if anyone out there has heard the Bad Bunny vocal track from the Super Bowl, that's just his vocals, give us a call at 888-465-2631. Steve, I've never heard anything even close to that, okay? I mean, it was, in this day of auto-tuning and everything, I've heard some instances where, and by the way, there's another video of Bad Bunny singing when the auto-tune went south, and he had a problem too, and that was the Milli Vanilli incident, although he stayed on stage. All right, you want to take some calls, Steve?
Yes.
All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Dave, West Palm Beach.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, David.
Hi there. Yeah, you asked about the Bad Bunny lyrics and who understood them. So I just want to say that I'm married to a woman who is a legal immigrant from Ecuador, so Spanish is her primary language, and she told me she didn't understand a thing he said.
Yeah, because when you hear the vocal track without the music, he's just they're not real words. And I don't mean like
didn't make sense.
It's not real words. It's gibberish with a Spanish accent.
Yeah, it's interesting because my stepdaughter and our grandson, they like his music because they're obviously a generation and two generations behind.
My daughter does
and they
too.
actually went to one of his concerts, so it's kind of strange. So I guess the younger generation kind of likes it, but my wife said she does not understand it.
Well, listen, the lyrics are vulgar. However, in my generation, which is 80s music, okay, I'm not going to say the lyrics, but does anybody remember Freddie Goes to Hollywood? Relax, don't do it when you're going to blank. And that was on radio stations everywhere. I can't say the last word, even though it plays on radio stations. But this is, go online and pull up the track I'm telling you, caller, without the music. It's all over X, and play that for your wife from Ecuador.
Oh, wow.
The vocal
We'll
track.
see what happens.
Okay. All right. And then call us back and let us know. Okay. Take care. Appreciate the call. All right. And by the way, let's take some more calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning. How you doing? This is Maria from Tamarack. I'm sorry.
From Tamarack, Florida. Okay. Go ahead, Maria.
Just met a girl named Maria.
Okay. Yeah. How you doing, Steve? How you doing, Brian?
Hanging in there.
Okay. Same with me. I've been absent for a while because I had some issues going on with one of my kids.
Oh,
so, my daughter, she ended up getting a tumor in her brain.
Oh.
And she started having seizures, and it's like, and I've been crying, trying to figure out what is going on. And
is she okay now?
It's been hard.
Is she okay?
They just released her from the hospital yesterday, so she's improving. She hasn't got better yet, but she's improving with the seizures.
Oh, well, that's good. All right, well, keep us updated.
Yeah, I definitely will. But I wanted to call. I tried to call earlier, but I couldn't get to the phone quick enough. And by the time I was looking at it, you had so many people on the phone, so I was like, I ain't gonna get
we got you now. We got you now. What do you have for us?
So I wanted Okay, I wanted to say, Pam Bondi, great job yesterday. Great job. I mean, she stood her ground. She fought back, and she also defended Trump. And I don't understand what's wrong with the liberals, but now I never did understood them, but now I do. I understand now exactly what's going on. And y'all might not agree with me, but I'm going to just say this. They are cheaters. They love to cheat. They want immigrants, and they just want to attack our great president, Donald J. Trump.
But when you see, but here's the thing: when you saw those Democrats yesterday, they were unhinged. And the reason they're unhinged is because President Trump, we've got the Voter ID Save Act, and has been deporting their constituents.
Yeah, they were prepared for the call, but they didn't. It backfired anyway.
Mm-hmm. They're in a panic.
The position was so ridiculous.
Right, because what I was looking at, and I definitely didn't like it. I was so mad yesterday. I was trying to hold myself up because I had just left from the hospital with my picking my daughter up because I had to pick her up. They released her yesterday. But I was looking at it, and I was so furious because I was like, it's me as being a woman. It doesn't matter what color you wear. When you attack a woman, additionally, as they did yesterday, if I could have been in that hearing, I probably would have thrown a shoe. And that's last one of them.
Well, listen, we're running short.
Maria.
We're out of time.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter is 36.
Oh.
We're going to keep her in our prayers, and will you check in with us when things settle down? Will you call in? And I think the audience is probably interested in wanting to hear how things are going. Would you do that first, dear?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well,
yeah,
listen. All right, Maria. I got to run because we're so short on time. But please give us a call.
God bless.
And I want to talk about before we end today about Coastal Weight Loss Secret, guys. You know, you guys see me that watch me on YouTube. You've seen my miraculous weight loss, and you've seen that I've kept it off. You know, I've got my chin back, squared jaw, got my neck back. My stomach is flat. You know, I mean, this is great. And what's also amazing is not just I lost the weight, I've kept it all off, right? And it's not coming back. And I look great. I feel great. People tell me first I look younger, and then they tell me you've lost weight. But it's amazing how it takes age off of you, too, losing all this weight. You can do it, too, okay? Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. All right, we're out of time for today. But, Steve, tomorrow is Open MAGA Mike Friday. Open phones on Friday. The show prep is up to you on Friday's show. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Steve Kane, of course, is here. My name is Brian Craig. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. God bless America. See you then. All right, Steve, I'll call you later. Okay, take care. All right, before you guys go, please make sure that you like the video before you go, guys. If you haven't done that, please do it. If you're new, subscribe. As you can hear, this is where MAGA comes to talk. My name is Brian Craig. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.